Knuckle grip in the neon light, trading pain in the heart of the fight, shifting gears till the edge feels right. Start 'em up, hear the engines cry. Let the thunder roll, leave no doubt. All or nothing when the checkers come out. Doors beating doors in an all-out fight. This is a Moonshiners Wednesday night. Wednesday night. Legends born in the heat of the fight, trading pain under stadium lights. Racing roots run deep here. We're racing on a Moonshiners Wednesday night. Every track has a story to tell. Every wall has been one driver's hell. Back in the saddle we go. Ring the bell like a moonshiner. We're riding on rails. Checkers or records. Send it in, set sail. Legends born in the heat of the fight. Trading pain under stadium lights. Racing roots run deep here. We're racing on a Moonshiners Wednesday night. This is 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 a Moonshiners Wednesday night.
Tonight, it's a trip to America's home for racing as the Moonshiners Racing League looks to go full tempo, part of its GMD Janitorial Cup Series. Tonight, it's the quest to run 300 laps. It's the off-axis paint 300, and it's here on Precision Entertainment. Good evening, everyone. I'm Justin Prince alongside the booth for tonight's 300 lapper is Jeremy Miller. We're also joined by a plethora of crew members, including Zach Case, who's working pit road and social media, the debut of Cody Banta, who will also be on pit road, Ryan Bauer, who is our producer this evening, who is all using cameras provided by Whiplash SimCams. It's time to count down to green tonight as we get all set to go. We're coming up to the middle third of the season. In fact, in the middle of it, now, because the All-Star race set the tone for some of the top drivers with what was one of the best races of the entire season, Jeremy. But tonight, you have to be able to run 100 laps for 3 consecutive stages. This is our longest night.
Yeah, tonight is a marathon, and it's setting up the marathon that is going to be the stretch to be chased right now throughout the rest of the season. Going to be the longest race of the year. We're going to barely run less laps than they ran in real life here with the rain-shortened event, so we're going to see a lot of racing. It's going to be a long one, but this is where we really are, as you said, going to set the tone for the rest of this year.
Absolutely, and we'll see a lot of these drivers as we go to the summer months try and get well acquainted with some of the facilities. Nashville is going to be an interesting one when it comes to horsepower package there. Michigan, of course, going to be high tempo in the next few weeks. San Diego is still up for grabs for what will actually run, since iRacing doesn't have that, obviously. But that being said here, you don't get an off week until August the 5th, mind you. It's a very long stretch with a lot of combinations of races. And for some of these drivers in the midst of the quest for the Impact Sim Designs chase, Jeremy, You have to be able to do well in this stretch if you want any sort of chance by the time we get to the third column for your schedule.
You can see there, obviously, a few drivers are more than comfortable right now. Bowie, Murray, Coffey, Fetter Place, Cox, Rogers, Harper, really anybody at plus 100 on, really comfortable right now. A few guys behind them really comfortable as well, but, you know, they could sweat it if they have a bad few summer months, but right there on that cut line, it's tight. You got Vincent, Real, Sanchez, Christensen, Matthews, Carr, and Shade all within just about 20 points of each other.
And keep in mind, when it comes to Charlotte, it's been a tricky track for whatever reason the past couple weeks here, because for whatever reason, a lot of people are spinning on the outside. We've seen, in particular, the Moonshiners and a couple different hour series up on the high side. By time lap 30 or so on the tires, Jeremy, could be a little bit tricky for the drivers to hold on grip-wise tonight.
Yeah, grip definitely going to be at a premium. The surface is wearing out, right? We got a hot track and it's getting older, so we got less grip every time we come here. Will be a night race though, so should see some lower track temps provided by that, which might help with that issue.
Indeed, we'll find out how tonight goes as we get all set to go look at your pole award, brought to you by Victory Designs. The Victory Designs pole award set to see how things rumble off tonight. Alex Coffey is the one who set the pole this evening. That was a 28.799 over Braden Donaldson. Then, row number 2. That's where you'll find Timothy Harper this evening. Brandon Bowie, he'll drop to 51 for the top 4. Then it's Kyle Holden in the top 5 with Nico Garcia. He had a recent paint swap to a Kyle Busch theme. Brandon Fetter Place will start in 7th tonight and 10th off the pole. Alongside him, Alex Murray. Good to see Murray. He has been very sick this past week. Corey Moore starts off at 9th. Sean Rogers, the top 10.
The 11 is going to qualify 11. Paul Gallenberger, he was our fastest in practice, not the Q he was looking for. Nick Kingbear rolling off in the 12th position. We see Matt Mackin here in 13th and Barry Sanders rolling off 14th in the 88. Rolling off 15th tonight is going to be Wayne Bowen in the 78, and Chris Davis is going to join him in 16th in the 87. Mark Sanchez right there around that cutoff, he'll roll off 17th tonight, and Ryan Catalano, top it off HotSauce.com machine, rolling off 18th, and rounding out our top 20 are Jim Treat and today's highlighted driver, Jose Medina.
Talk about that much more later on in the broadcast. Chris Vincent will start in 21st tonight with Blaine Wilson running the full Kyle Busch look 22nd. Johnny Shade starts 23rd this evening with Kenny Real down in the 24th spot. William Owens down the order, 6/10 off the pole, is in 25th tonight with Matt Metler in 26th this evening. Last car to set a time tonight, who's in session, is Nigel Christensen. There were many more who did not set times, though, tonight. That included Matt Cox, Greg Carr, Blake Hochschild, Chris Cornett, and Jeff Chandler. And Chandler is not in the session. We also had Trevor Ashwarnoff, who is down in 12th. But the drivers are rolling off for tonight, as mentioned. Hotter track conditions for this evening's festivities, as they'll prepare for a long one, to say the very least. This is going to be one of the more challenging races. It's not the World 600. It is 450 miles, though, with straight equal 100-lap stages.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty repetitive eating for drivers from that perspective. They're going to be running 3 identical stints. Strategy won't be all that creative because of that, but obviously cautions can throw a bit of a wrench in that, so you may find yourself in a situation where some creativity may arise. But see our incident there, 17 incident points tonight will be a drive-through, 25 for disqualification. Long race that could come into play.
It's going to be an interesting one, to say the very least, here tonight as we get ready to start Stage 1, brought to you by Collegiate Football Simulation League, the top collegiate football simulation league. Create your legacy by visiting collegesimleague.com today. Your Van Louis stickers, cameras. We have 7 of them tonight. As you can see, all of them are warming up their tires for the time they get to the Van Louis stickers start zone. Out through the quad oval here this evening. Let's head down pit road and check in, meanwhile, with Zach Case. Zach, what have you been hearing in the conversations entering this race? And the answer is crickets. So, we'll take that thought process here to what your keys to victory are tonight, Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be just keeping the car in one piece. It's a long event, so you can't afford to, ruin your night early. You're not going to win it this early, but also, as you mentioned, the handling, just keeping those rear tires intact. You don't want to be loose off here at Charlotte. You want to keep that car nice and secure on the exit of the corners. You can get your car handling right like that. You're going to have a good night versus the guys who are struggling to get up off the corner.
Absolutely. Who's your pick?
That's a tough one tonight. Let's see through this field here. Obviously, we do appear to be missing, or no, sorry, he is in here. Yeah, Brandon Bowie is going to be the winner once again tonight.
You think Bowie's going to get it done? Keep in mind, we will do a moment of silence on lap 8, by the way, in memory of Kyle Busch, passed away this past week after Vernoma. But we're ready to go just about for tonight's action as we prepare for the off-axis paint 300. Coming up to the Van Louis sticker start zone, it's Coffey and Donaldson up in front. Green flag is out, we're underway from Charlotte.
Pretty strong initial launch there on the inside. Coffey's going to be clear, and he's trying to pull Harper there with him on the inside of Donaldson, but Donaldson's going to be able to hang there on the outside, and he'll file into P2 down that straightaway. Almost contact already as they're fighting for space.
Now, a few of these drivers trying to get right back where they left off of the All-Star race. Go door to door, battle to battle, and sort themselves out as fast as they can with the way things can go tonight. Better yet, see a lot of runs built up on that outside possibly, with drivers want to be aggressive, but the constant theme tonight will be that blue line. Paint the blue line. That's where you need to keep it simple, save the tires. In real life, there's grip down there, some people talk about, but it is a careful line because if you go too low on the paint, you collect the apron.
That is the unique thing about running down there. The paint is on the banking here versus a lot of racetracks where it'll be on the flat, and there is definitely grip there to be had on the surface as well. So if you can get your lefts just kind of dragging around there in that paint, there is a little bit of extra grip, and it does absolute wonders for your tire wear if you can wrap that line perfectly to save your tires in the long run. They're 3 wide almost there towards the back of the field.
Yeah, some of the drivers back there getting uber aggressive, but the front of the field keeping uber simple, if you will, in the pace tonight. As you can tell, clean air going to be part of the things you'll see be king tonight. This was the type of racetrack in real life this past. Hold on, caution flag. First yellow flag of the night. Car on the outside wall. It's Wayne Bowen that's gone around on the 78. That will set us up for our first top of Ponzo's Company replay in a moment, as the BMP entry right up across the nose of Ashwarnov has brought us under caution, Jeremy.
Heavy nose damage already on that 78 machine. He was facing traffic in the wrong direction. We'll get a look here at the top it off Hot Sauce Company replay. Take a look at what happened to him. You see Aswardolf there on the outside in the 89. Bowen down there on the inside. They're side by side down the front straightaway. There's an in tight spot there with Gower in front of them and King behind him as well. As they head on down here in turn 1, 78 just tracks a little bit too far up the racetrack and they run out of room. Probably some damage to that 89 there as well.
That's going to decimate the front end of that machine. Aero's very important, obviously, in the mile and a halves. But you'll have a lot of these close calls at this part of a race like this. That time, a little bit too close for comfort. And puts us under caution as Bowen trying to keep it up against the outside wall. Take a look at this again for Gallimore.
See already some right front damage actually on the 78 here from the shot. He might have had some wall contact already leading up to this, but looking at the shot off of Gallimore, you're going to see that the 89 is not quite all the way up to the wall, but the 78 still does definitely come up a good amount and cause the contact there. I don't know how much more room Aswardolf could have really given him.
Very touch and go in terms of some of the lines, to say the least. You have to figure out a way. Give that space. Yes, you want to try and force that driver to make a mistake, but there was a little error between them actually too there. It almost looked like that's going to be a bit of a factor also, and obviously that's going to send him down pit road.
Yeah, Aswardolf down pit road as well, so definitely some damage to that 89 machine, but back to the live shot there, you see a couple other cars peel up, but most of them will stay out as they have run essentially no laps on these tires. They'll cool right back off and fire off as good as new, and they'll get back going, headed towards that 100 lap mark. Obviously, we'll need fuel at some point in this stage.
So our first stop's underway. as we work our way on lap number 6. We'll set it down to Zach Case, who's standing by.
Yeah, just commenting on how Wayne Bowen, obviously with that wreck, he's going to have some essential front end damage, but overall I think the biggest thing, we talked to him last week making his return to the series, trying to run a lot of laps here, and obviously run plenty overall. But I just think the biggest thing for him is he's got to fix that damage up. He's got plenty of laps to go, 300 total, so plenty of time to get that thing fixed up and ready to go for the rest of this race. Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Zach. And all that's getting to where have a 2-to-go signal already this lap. It is a quick EL racetrack here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So really being said here, how do you attack on a restart like this to make sure you're able to attack? What would you be saying to these drivers in the boxes?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually one of the easier tracks to attack on the restarts, in my opinion. Can kind of widen out, but you know, that also makes it a little bit difficult for back. You can kind of log jam yourself, but there are options to make pace on fresh tires on these restarts. You know, you can run top, middle, bottom, really put some guys around you in some bad aero situations as well, and make that work to your advantage too.
As we get ready for the restart, let's throw it down to, on his pit road debut, Cody Banta standing by. Cody, what do you have? Cody, do you have a copy?
Yes, I do. Sorry, boys. First to engage Motorsports and 0x Sim are both reporting early tightness of the car.
And that's something we'll have to keep an eye on as the night goes on here, Jeremy, is how drivers adapt to make sure they get the tightness out, because you can tighten up a loose car. You can necessarily tighten up you can loosen up a tight car, but it's a little bit more tricky, to say the very least, in terms of the balance, if you will, possibly.
Yeah, you lose that nose, you're back. You almost end up in like a push loose here. It's a pretty common symptom here. You're going to feel like you're tight, but you're actually loose, and the entire car is pushing up the racetrack. And as that progresses over to run, you might eventually start to find that snap, because you're going to have the wheel cranked and the back end will give out.
And let's find out how this goes. We'll take the moment of silence here. We're coming to start lap 8. In memory of Kyle Busch, let's roll through the Van Lille Stickers restart zone. Donaldson taking the lead for the first time tonight. The 67 looks to run in clean air, while everybody else runs down to the bottom outside of Bowie, who's trying to clear out for 8th. Donaldson's been fast every race, it feels like he's been in, Jeremy. You have to feel eventually he's going to break through for a win.
Yeah, he's been showing some really good pace. Obviously, he's with a good group of cars he's working around there that they camp. They've been fast all season long. They, haven't always had the stuff to hang with Bowie. Bowie obviously been dominating the season, but Donaldson, one of the candidates to definitely come out here and win any week.
Yeah, and that's why he just set the fastest lap of the race. Only driver to set a time now in the 28.9s to begin things off here tonight. It's going to change, obviously, as the night goes on, with the track temp only in the high 70s here this evening. But all that being said here, outside of that, most of the field's keeping it pretty calm, I think. No uber aggression like we've seen in the All-Star race with a lot of side-by-sides. Most of the field is thinking big picture. Well, outside of one driver who's been chipping on the radio, Nick Kane, who's been back and forth with Sean Rogers, he just zipped on the outside and brought Catalano with him.
Yeah, big move there on the top as we're going to take a look on board with that 44 Sean Rogers. See Catalano there on the outside. Catalano having a good start to his day. I think Rogers would like to be running a little bit better right now, but it is such a long race that some of these cars may be set up to be a lot better on the long haul than they are at this point in the run. Still relatively early in this run on these tires. Going to go quite a bit further on this set of Goodyears.
Or the window can go as late as 65 to 70-ish on the fuel tanks here tonight in each of the stages. Timothy Harper off to a good start tonight. He's running a paint scheme look comparable to Bubba Wallace here this evening. And right now, 23, keeping steady. He's one of the drivers in the top 10 of the points coming into tonight. 5 top 5s, 9 top 10s this season for the 23 car. As we look back to Catalano in comparison, just outside the top 10 behind Murray as he searches for clean air.
Gonna look off the bat there, you see Kenny Reel in behind Catalano, too. Murray up there in front of him. You see right there, that's a big thing to look for all night. Justin Murray keeps it nice and neat and low on the exit. Catalano got high and floated on the exit and got over that hump. That's what's really going to hurt the handling of your car long run. If you're able to be disciplined and keep your car tucked to that bottom, that's where your tires are really going to thrive. We'll see off turn 2. Once again, Catalano just slipping up a little bit higher. It's such a little minute thing, but it's really massive at this racetrack when that happens.
And really, over the course of this, see a lot of these drivers trying to adjust, if you will, too, in terms of how many drivers are making X work. Kyle Holden, a little bit more deeper on the bottom on the entry. Actually got to the back of Harper just about. Cost him on exit, though. That's put him up for grabs for Garcia. Your boy Nico is trying to get to the quarter panel of the 97 and looking to roll.
A lot of grip right there in 3 and 4, though, right on that seam. So Holden's going to be able to maintain pretty good to get a good run on exit. That seam almost works pretty similarly to how we were describing that paint. It's really only there in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, you got to run a bit higher to make pace, but you can kind of wrap the middle of the corner. It's a little bit tighter of a corner there in 3 and 4, and it really does work out on that line for a lot of the pros here specifically.
Take a look at Barry Sanders. A little bit of support from his fellow teammates on potential speed tonight. Down in 17th, though, to start. He's lost spots. I've noticed he's having to let the car roll a little bit more on throttle just to be able to make the exits, it feels like, and that's costing him ground.
You could just tell that nose was never pointing through that corner. He's definitely fighting a tight handle there. Couldn't ever quite get the car to turn, and really just waiting for it to catch up the entire time. But right now, on board Corey Moore, he's on the outside of Garcia now, so I don't put Moore up into the top 5 as he completes this pass. He'll run that higher groove here for 3 and 4, keep that clean air and get that run on exit. He's going to be looking to make a move on Holden on exit now, too. Really strong corner there for the 19 or more.
As we've done so far in his quest to move up from 8th in the points as well. 5 top 10s of the season so far this evening. As Moore up to 4th, get the job done. He's one of the dig cars battling with one of the Aero cars, Zach.
Yeah, just listening in on some of the radio from Aero, and the guys are talking about how Dig is on the move, and feels like their car might not have as much long-run speed in terms of the dig machine, so I think Aero's kind of letting them go and seeing if they can catch back up over time. So just something to note between both camps. A couple drivers talking in the Aero camp saying they're a little tight right now, so back up to you guys, but we'll see how this develops.
Again, it goes back to the discussion points of the other teams were reporting in terms of tightness. Chris Davis, well down the order. You see him, though, working right now 22nd, a little bit lower than where we expect him sometimes when it comes to pace. He's a -5, also not really getting the nose planted, dragging behind Johnny Shea.
Yeah, when you see that car doing what it does to that corner, Justin, not quite able to get to the bottom, and I don't know how to describe it, almost as it looks like the car just quite isn't, pointed in the same direction as the rest when they're that tight. It absolutely kills those tires because it's running such a harsher arc, and you're turning the wheel further, and the right front's just skidding across the racetrack. You see Nick King up there on the high side, though. He's been one of the most aggressive drivers working that higher groove, and he's still coming forward. Right now, the pace is looking really good, but you do got to wonder how much he's punishing his tires to make up all of his ground. He's about to go around Corey Moore, who actually lost that position. He had picked up on Nico Garcia back there. Garcia actually up to 4th now. I think, Holden fell back a few positions.
That dropped himself to a -3 on the race. Who's going now forward here to start? Kenny Reel picked up spots. You see Murray just a few car lengths behind him. That 99 just up the road is flying all of a sudden in the red line camp. He just picked himself up even more spots. He's now inside the top 6.
I think when you see the seasoned veterans like Bowie and Murray both doing the exact same thing back there in 10th and 11th, and you see these guys pushing really hard on the outside and going forward, the history would indicate that those two are the ones doing the right things, and these guys will pay on the long run as those tires start to wear out. Only 22 laps on these. They're going to be trying to get closer to 50, so they're not even halfway through the tire life here, and we have the yellow to help them. So there's a lot of time for these drivers to be punished for pushing this hard this early. Some of the longest green flag stints we'll see all season here on tires, and the drivers may not be fully prepared for that.
Everybody's been pretty tight, it seems like, hearing the reports from some of our workers on the pit lane tonight. Gallimore, he was the fastest in final practice, just trying to maintain position here. All while everybody else is thinking, where else can they try and pursue? We're already past 22, coming to 23 complete. Nick King, he's still keeping the pressure high, pushing Garcia this time in his Warrior Racing car.
I'll go right back to the top again here, so he's still pushing that pace up there on the top. He's not quite going to get an upper run to get to the outside of the 8 yet. We'll see if he crosses low down the back straightaway. It does look like he'll just follow in line. He's trying to push those exits to get to Barrera. It doesn't seem like he wants to try to make that move to the inside. He's just going to keep winding it up here until he gets it. He should get it here. Garcia way tight. He's going to block it off, though. He had a massive arrow push from the back bumper of Harper, and that could have led to some heavy contact there if King didn't lift.
That time a little bit of give and take for the Toyota Camry here. Trying to force Garcia to burn up his own stuff, if you will. Looks like he's trying to build a run once again. Quarter of the way through the race here, just like that. Back to Holden we go. He's down in 7th on the save. Kenny Real has moved down to the bottom after pushing hard on the outside and has kind of plateaued here. Corey Moore, who was up to high as 4th moments ago, he's also fallen back right into the clutches of the 97. They just try and chugga, find some different lines to play. Holden, I don't think, likes running in the dirty air of the 99.
Yeah, it is kind of the debate here. He's going to go back around Kenny Real. So Kenny Real probably pushed the tires a little bit too hard, already starting to give up some spots to those cars that he had just passed. But you see back here off the back of Holden, the field is spreading out a bit. So if Real can just drive defensively well, he might actually still net gain out of pushing hard in the early run. It's not necessarily always a bad thing to do that if you can be solid defensively through the back half of when your tires are a little bit off of those around you. But also wanted to point out Kyle Holden was shifting both ends of this racetrack. Something else to keep in mind here when you're fighting that tight condition. Changing up the way you're shifting that race car can really help the front end turn, but Real holds them off right now. Good run on the top side.
Brandon Fetterplace, your all-star race winner, continuing to rumble on. And it was impressive for the 34 after we've seen all of that squabbling, all of that battling in amongst last week. 34 that got the advantage in that race, obviously in the late stages of that one. A lot of people felt that was a popular win here in the garage area, Jeremy. To see that 34 drive forward as we take a look at some of the air battles.
Back on here, back with Gallimore. This is a number driver I believe would be a pretty popular win when he gets it done. He's been so close, just hasn't quite broken through just yet. Running 14th right now behind Catalano. Not quite the early strong pace that he was hoping for after being as fast as he was in practice. Wasn't the best qualifying effort, and he has gone a little bit backwards. But up front, Nick King now works his way on the outside. He has gotten around Timothy Harper to 3rd.
Got a solid power plant underneath him, it feels like, tonight in that 12 machine. The way he's been able to get these lines to work, he is the quickest out of the entire top 5 and past 5 lap average and past 10 lap average. But now the true test will be, did he burn up his stuff? This is around the time where those who utilize the top start to pay the price on the rears. Nigel Christensen. Well, last night that paint scheme was really fast, or should I say on Sunday night in real life. Tonight, 20 is loose. There goes Christensen to the back.
Holds on to it there on the inside on the apron. Going to pull up. Only one car in behind him. Doesn't wreck the race car, but loses a ton. Oh, that's tight right there. Holding and Real down the front straightaway. Real almost put him in the fence trying to protect that right rear.
It got a little bit dicey yet again. They're trying to go side by side off the corner. Now Real has the momentum to keep himself clear though, and yet again the red line machine trying to use the outside to continue to defend and play the game the way he wants us to go. This is going to open up some potential gaps here once again amongst the packs, mind you, because Garcia and Harper, who are up the road, are also side by side, but they're still building a buffer. There goes Holden on the send, not able to clear.
Not quite able to clear him, but barely not able to. He'll try to run a little bit lower down the straightaway and then get closer to that left rear as the 99 pulls even, but they'll be dead even here in the 3. If he hits the bottom just right, he should be able to clear him up off this corner. Didn't quite get to that blue line though, so Real's going to keep that momentum and keep to his right rear on the outside.
And one of the things here in terms of discussions to think about is shifting versus not shifting. How would you describe the shift points for a race like this?
Yeah, it really just depends on what gear you have in the car. There's a little bit of wiggle room of what you can play with, so some teams might approach a track like this with a different philosophy. I never love shifting at mile and a halves, but sometimes when the car isn't handling so well, having that tool available to you is nice. But you do see here Garcia working his way back around the King to 12, so Harper coming up as well. King might be starting to fade a little bit backwards after pushing so hard, but I mean, we're 33 laps into this run. He's held on quite a long time. He did a really good job not cooking them too hard despite running that higher line.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We'll see. Oh, as Harper knocks in the wall. What did significant contact for the damage meter, if you will, but will be side by side with Garcia. These types of battles are getting a little bit tricky. That's going to force Harper off the gas. A little bit of give and take there by Garcia to make sure he didn't pinch Harper into the fence.
I think there was a little bit more give there by Harper than Garcia. Honestly, Garcia kind of pushed his car way too hard through center corner and created that situation. Could have been dicey though. Both did a good job of avoiding making it worse, but they're still fighting side by side. And look what being side by side has done. Holden is coming to them and King is driven away.
Yeah, this has built a buffer of nearly half a second. In fact, more than half a second now on the racetrack. So just like that, everybody else now just about in the fuel window if they want to take an early stop. Not expecting anybody to try and deviate too much here. That game plan. But Brandon Bowie, he's been relatively quiet so far tonight. He's looking to pick up the tempo up to 9th. Taking the pass on Corey Moore, and here comes Alex Murray.
Yeah, these two both starting to pull their way back forward. Definitely were taking care of their equipment earlier in the run. Something else to, keep an eye on too, Justin. This track's going to change a lot throughout the night, and these guys know this. These cars aren't set up to be good now. They're set up to be good, 150 laps from now. So some of these guys that aren't as good now, and some that are really good now, we could see that flip later in the race as the track's handling changes, as the track will continue to cool throughout the event.
Taking a look at how Coffey gets the diamond line built on. Coffey, it looks like he's trying to find a way to get himself moving on forward. Remember, gave it the clean air to Donaldson. This time both running up towards the top. At least Donaldson full corner is. Coffey is trying to get clean air to the front nose. And Zach, we've seen a lot of back and forth with the tire wear conversation. What do you have to say about that here with the mix of that and shifting?
I mean, I think just the biggest thing is when I was running the 600 this past weekend, it just really comes down to how hard you use up your stuff right on the restart. Do you jump to the outside and burn up your rear tires trying to go forward and then defend like Jeremy was talking about earlier, or do you wait back like Bowie, like Murray, and really let the car come to you, right? We see a lot of different lines, right? Guys running lower, they run on that bottom line, they're saving their right rears a little more than a guy that's going up top. We got to battle for the lead though, but that's the biggest thing for the tire wear. Back up to you guys.
Look at that send for Coffey. Parked it in front of his dig teammate, and now over the back end is Donaldson. Donaldson trying to take the air almost off that spoiler with the way it's looking. Will he go for a send back? He'll try at least a poke to the inside, but Coffey's got the chance to clear and will get that done down the backstretch.
Hairy moment there, through 3 and 4. Quite a heavy aero pack. Almost wondered if Donaldson was trying to let him go, and Coffey didn't quite get the run he expected, which led them to being so close. But you see right here, King starting to go backwards. He's on the outside of Holden. That'll put him back to P6 if Holden clears him. And right now, some of these guys that have saved tires coming forward, Bowie and Murray, see them right there in the back of that picture, are creeping into this battle together.
Slowly but surely, that decision to try and save tire benefiting here as they set things up for the long haul on the stage. Bowie just trying to follow Fetter place a little bit on the bottom. Matt Cox, by the way, you see is your biggest mover. Not really a surprise, he's plus 11. He's down at 15th though on the pylon so far. later in the race, we should see him back up to the front. At least that's the expectation when you have the pace he's put up in that now 00 for the series.
Yeah, I was about to ask when that happened. Didn't quite keep up with that number change, McCoxon 00. And, you know, running 15th right now, not the day he was expecting, usually a lot better pace, but up front here, Coffey and Donaldson still fighting each other pretty hard for that lead, but Harper and company are coming quickly.
Just notice one issue, though, that's popped up in the past few laps here that's going to impact Alex Murray. A little while ago, we can tell you he did crush in the right front on that 22 machine. That was about 20 laps ago. Can confirm while he was battling. So he will absolutely need to get the car fixed under the caution flag. Murray at this point is going to need some luck here. He wants to have a good finish. But Garcia up front, he's providing a ton of pressure still on this battle, as they also have Wayne Bowen back on the racetrack right in front of them.
Yeah, fresher tires in that 78 machine, done his repairs, and he's just out there running laps at this point. Oh, big moment there of Harper. I'm not quite sure what happened. Garcia had to get way out of the throttle right there. He ran up on it really quickly. And Harper just got the fence on exit 2. Really terrible corner for Tim Harper there. Not quite sure what happened in the 23.
Yeah, a few of these drivers are getting almost on the edge, if you will, again. With the way the wear's looking, Harper again. Getting leaned on a bit. Later still dealing with the lap traffic. But as you can tell, some of the others are fading back the wrong way. That includes Nick Kane, who's gone from the top 4 down the opposite direction. Alex Coffey has Wayne Bowen on freshies right in front of him. That's going to feed dirty air.
Yeah, it'll feed dirty air, and eventually he'll get far enough ahead that it's actually going to be a good tow, and then he'll eventually just be out of the picture as those tires are going to keep pulling away further and further. Donaldson has hung with Coffey since that pass, so Coffey really did not drive away from his teammate there at all. Still side by side here, Garcia and Harper. These two have been fighting each other really hard. Garcia's got him clear this time. I don't think Harper's got the momentum to cross him over with that one.
Yeah, it's not looking that way either. And right now it becomes the thought of, how do you enter pit road? I know that seems like a simple question, Jeremy. How would you describe that pit entry where we've seen so many people have issues with that wall in particular, snapping around and becoming like a funnel on entry?
This pit road will actually, in my opinion, be seen as a misconceivingly easy pit road to get onto. You do a lot of your braking in the banking, so it's pretty easy to get down the speed. If you're just not over aggressive with it, you have a ton of time not to speed and avoid those barrels. But because, big move for the lead here with Donaldson though to the inside of Coffey. Coffey just hasn't had the pace since he took the lead. Car has not handled as good in clean air. They're still going to be side by side here down the back straightaway. Donaldson's going to pull him back. Should have a good chance to clear him in 3 and 4. No, he's going to pull up in behind him instead of going for the move.
Got to make it a little bit edgy with the bumpers, if you will, the past few moments. But right now, Donaldson looking for any way he can to get the edge. Garcia, by the way, in 3rd spot is slowly reeling them in. Zach.
Yeah, one thing that the number 8 changed was he moved that brake bias a little farther back, which allowed the car to enter a little smoother, not as tight, he's saying. So the 8 car coming alive here as the lights start to brighten up and the sun continues to set as we get farther into this race. So something to note out of the aero camp for the 8 car. Back up to you guys.
And right now, Brandon Bowie, he's continuing his small little quest to get back up there also to join in the fun. For whatever reason, he always finds his way up front late. He's got 5 wins for a reason. He's been really consistent. 66% is his top 10 rate this season. 8 top 10s to 12 starts. Oh, hold on 1 minute. Pit window is open. Chris Davis, we're riding with Catalano, though. It's indicating he wants to come in this time. We'll see him behind all this. He's the first to start the pit wave as we're halfway through stage 1.
Yeah, see, there's still a pretty big gaggle of cars right now in front of Davis, so this group has kind of found themselves all really close in pace. That's tight there. Great car was not clear enough to slide up in front right there, but great job by everybody around avoiding making anything worse right there. I think that was Cornette there behind him who was able to lift and avoid further chaos.
Yeah, some of the drivers in the back of the field, like Chris Cornette, looking to ride the Walmart machine on forward. As expected, 4 tires of fuel should be the name of the game for a lot of these cars, and this might be trouble. It will be trouble. It's Davis around with the help of Cornette, and we're under caution for the first time for the cycle and our second time of the night.
It just was not quite clear there. It was pretty visible live. The 87 just came up a little bit into Cornette there and sent himself around.
Dominic Ponzo's company replay as it's simple. It was close. Cornette tried to lift, he said. Wasn't able to lift in time.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious watching that too. I don't actually think Davis was trying to clear him. He kind of just had the car take off from him there. And, you know, once it gets tight, even if you lift, you're not going to be able to collect it. But we're hearing Chris Cornette some damage there too. So.
Yeah. Got a meatball flag, yes, is what he just said on the radio. Cornette got a heavy hit, apparently, as a result of the contact. Again, your replays brought to you by Dominic Ponzo's company. Receive 50% off your entire order at DominiqueSauce.com. Use the code MRL15. But the sequence is ready to go. It's pit stop time, Zach.
Yeah, obviously everyone that has not pitted yet, besides that 92 and a few others, everyone's coming down pit road, so we'll see who takes any gambles or any adjustments. I expect 4 tires and fuel from everyone. An update on Davis, though, obviously damaged, but was able to keep it off the wall, so we'll see him get 4 tires and fuel as well. I think the biggest thing here for drivers is making sure you get to that pit box, keeping your track position right. You don't want to speed on pit road, you don't want to speed on exit, right? But you want to make sure you maintain. So hit your margins on the pit box. We'll see everyone go to left sides to get those 4 tires. And then after that, obviously, we'll see where we go. But race off the pit road, as expected. The guys up front continue to stay up front. Back to you guys.
Coffee over Donaldson, Garcia, Bowie, and Fetter place your top 5. As that will make sure everyone makes it on fuel in the off-axis paint 300. Coverage continues right after this. Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's coverage as we continue on with Moonshiners Racing League action. That's Prince Jeremy Moore with you up at the broadcast booth for this evening's racing. As Dig continues to control the night, as it is getting very, very dark. It's gone from slightly lighter cloud, or rather skies, to full darkness. We're coming up to the Van Louis Stickers restart zone, setting up for a 45-lap run. End off stage number 2. Coffee on the inside, Donaldson on the outside. Will they get a good fire off? Donaldson trying to jump in and how to get off the gas. Here comes the inside.
Garcia's going to clear him easily there with that launch on the inside. Donaldson, though, is going to cut off Fetterplace's run to the bottom. He'll settle into third. Bowie there on the outside, trying to get something going. Not going to quite get to the outside of the 34. Fetterplace down there. Oh, no. Fetterplace is going to give him the run. Those two are teammates. Not surprised to see that.
Yeah, some give and take for some as Bowie is going for it. Look at Bowie on the outside. Had a lift for Donaldson. Got himself up on the wall as a result. And now everybody else looks to try and conquer the thought of, can they take this away from Dig for the first time tonight for the race lead? Of note, Matt Metler having issues during this previous caution period. One of the drivers officially done for the day. The other, Jeff Chandler, never made it in session, so we have 31 still on track. Garcia for second.
Still side by side right there for second. Right now you see Bowie there in fourth. This is the furthest up we've seen him all day. We'll see how he does with the track position here, how hard he pushes himself, or he continues to save his tires. Donaldson still ripping that fence there on the outside. Coffey's still clearing the lead, but Donaldson's got a huge run. He's going to cut to the inside for the lead.
Side by side, Donaldson a little bit higher up on the entry, but still clears no issue. And Donaldson is now your race leader with Coffey down in second. As things calm down for a quick second, why do we send it down to Cody? Cody.
Just an update for the 0x Sim racing team. The 83 during the pit stop loosened up the car a little bit as it's feeling a little bit tight. Back to you guys up.
Thank you very much, Cody. As now all of this is to wow everybody else staying relatively trying to get loose. Look at the cut ahead for the 00. That's Cox that's now joined the fray right behind Bowie. That BMP car is rolling the middle.
Yeah, Cox number one. We haven't really seen all that. He's worked his way up here. Right now he's starting to push a little forward. Better place falling back. Rogers in the 44. He's up in the top 10. It's gotten darker out, Justin. I don't really see any sun on the horizon anymore. Lights are on. Track is changing. I think these are the guys that might start to be... Oh, Rogers turn down the front straightaway with Better Place. Gonna come up in traffic. Oh, they barely missed him.
Caution flag is out. I don't think there was any really emotional reaction there for Rogers. The face says a lot, though, Jeremy.
Yeah, he did the opposite of Jeff Gordon here in 2009 in the All-Series and actually locked it down and kept it out of the fence. Didn't listen to DWs. Keep your foot in it, and it drove it into the wall. So good job there to preserve his race car. And he'll live to fight another day. Just some minor damage repairs will be needed. Those tires, obviously, though, have seen better days at their side with that. But we take a look at the top it off Hot Sauce Company replay. Fatter place on the inside of Rogers. Just kind of comes up and gets him in the left rear.
And right there already locked it down well when he was in the artificial turf around the Toyota logos. And this is similar to that of one of the incidents we've seen earlier coming through the exit of the quad oval down the front straightaway. Two cars fighting a tight spot off an exit. Doesn't look like the 44 would track fully to the wall, but any higher there's a risk of hitting the wall if you're Rogers.
Just another look here off the back of Holden, or it happened in front of me. So we'll flip around that camera to the front here. You can see versus side by side in front of him. Better place. Right there, you can see it's just kind of taken off from him. The nose just pushes up the racetrack and they get into each other. I think both of those cars are really completely okay though out of that one.
Yeah, I think that could have been a lot worse for Rogers if anyone was offset even a little bit in that situation. It's from Fetter Place. There's the contact. Tries hard to make sure he doesn't get any sort of dent on the front end. He scraped the door, and everyone else is able to dodge with enough reaction time. The only drivers down pit road tonight in this part of the caution period, rather, Swarnoff, Davis, Shade, Real. All came down for service. As you see the cameras, everybody just staying relatively in shape here in the choo-choo train. Get ready for a restart pretty quick. It should be a pretty quick caution period.
Yeah, I'll get back going here. Should get the one to go this time by. So we will restart the race on lap 64. 63 coming to 64 is when they'll take the green. We'll see how this restart plays out this time. Donaldson will be the control car. Coffee will be to his outside or inside, depending on where that 67 chooses the restart. They got Harper there in third, Garcia still hanging there in fourth, and then Bowie and Cox making themselves known in the top 10. Notably, nowhere to be seen in the top 16 of our leaderboard. Alex Murray all the way back there in 20th. He fixed that damage. We'll see how quickly he pulls his way back through his pack as well.
Find out pretty sure here pretty soon, really. Zach, what do you have to say?
Yeah, just listening into the crew chief conversation between Brandon Fetterplace and his team over at Arrow. No damage to report from the 34. 34 just saying he had nowhere to go up, as it looked like the 44 kind of was off the wall a little bit. I think they met in the middle, but no harm, no foul, obviously, for the 34.
Thank you very much, Zach. As keep in mind, tonight's action is again brought to you in part by Top It Off. Top It Off Hot Sauce Company. Remember to use the code MRL15 for 15% off your entire order. Top It Off Hot Sauce Company. Revved up flavor and heat. The 92 is one of those who started the pit road sequence early. Then got a caution flag that put them well down the running order. Right now, Catalano in 25th. So just about ready to go. All of them ready to rumble their way on the restart with Donaldson and Coffee. Side by side once again. Cody, your quick report.
Yeah, the 44 just going to do a quick tire change here. No damage reported. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Cody. Coming up to the Valley Stickers restart zone. Through the zone they roll. Green flag is out. Great start for Donaldson. Take a look at Timothy Harper, though, streaking his way to P2 immediately. Another move for the 23. This time gets it done as the bottom for the cars with blue in them. Now get disrupted by a car with red. It's Garcia looking for third.
Garcia's not going to have the momentum roll in his favor. That's a big move to the inside there at Cox. Oh, man, they could have been some contact there as Garcia closes the door. Bowie and Vincent both working the outside there. Donaldson, though, had the biggest launch we've seen on night by our leader. He gave himself a nice gap to work with as he continues to lead the race.
Yeah, all of this is to where, again, solid restart is what you can say. Look at Chris Vincent. He's all of a sudden moving forward. He's up in 6th.
Yeah, he's going to poke his nose to the outside again. We'll see what kind of run he gets on Bowie in the 51. There's a lot of grip right there down on that seam. He holds it pretty good through center. He's going to get the run down the front straightaway. He'll clear Bowie right down in the turn 1.
Where did this speed come from for the BMP entry? Vincent, he has showed flashes of it. He has joined the conversation for the postseason in recent weeks, though. Right on behind this battle, forming up for the top 3 again, as Garcia doesn't want to push too hard yet. Likes to stay towards the bottom.
On the exit, pretty good handling race car. He's able to stay nice and tight into the back bumper of the 54 without it really affecting his handling too negatively. You see some crazy racing still there back behind him, some puffs of smoke. So Rivera coming off at turn 4, but they all kept it straight. Garcia, though, still looking for a way to build up momentum and get around the 54 of Alex Coffey. A huge move by Cornette there in the back.
A little bit of aggressiveness back there, but up front, a more sense of calm, if you will. Alex Murray, we talked about him having damage earlier. Well, he's slowly driving back up to the field. He's fixed the front end. Looks to clear for 16.
Yeah, 16th, as you mentioned, they're working that outside groove right now. It's Corey Moore in front of him. We saw Moore in the top 10 earlier. Not quite having the best of runs right now to finish out this back half of the stage. Still over 30 laps remaining, though, until we pay out our first set of points of the evening.
This race is a marathon for good measure. One of the longest, in fact, is your longest race of the season for a reason. Bowie, for his measure, a little bit more timid off this run. Not pushing as hard.
Great car wreck down the backstretch.
No caution yet. We stay green. Great car. 25 was battling with Chris Cornette. Cornette involved in the scene for a second top of the Ponzo's Company replay. You also had Blaine Wilson on the bottom.
I think Wilson got a piece of this as well. So you see Carr and Wilson side by side there. Cornette ripping the fence, gets top of 3 late. And yeah, they just kind of all run out of room on exit and have some collisions there.
And it all sees us still stay green. Somehow, some way. Eyes to the spot of the night for Timothy Harper is right now riding off at P2, and he's looking to try and stay away from the Garcia and Coffee battle. They've built up near 7/10 on the track.
Yeah, that was stretching that out a little bit there in front of those guys. Garcia does a good job there, settling in 3rd position now. We'll see what he can do. Vincent's still sitting there in 5th, though. He's hung on pretty good since that good restart. Behind him, though, you have Nick King. He's worked his way back up into the 6th position after fading a little bit on that long run after running so good early in it. Bowie there saving tires in 7th, followed by Holden, Cox, and Galwin around out our top 10.
Yeah, all this to say, this has definitely been a race where we've seen some comers and goers here tonight. Again, the open car, if you will, in the field. Nick King is again back inside the top 10. Compare that to some of the other Toyotas in the field. We've seen with some of the other leaders. Kenny Reel, who pushed in the first long run, dropped all the way to 22nd for comparison. King still willing to try and duke it on out.
See King there still working that middle groove right there on the outside of Vincent. Not able to get much of a run off that corner. 33 might have caught the wall just a little bit there off on the exit. It's going to drop his momentum back to 12 even more with that lower arc, but King not able to quite go anywhere with it just yet. He keeps putting that car to the high side, though. It's where he wants to be right now. I think he likes his car handling up there a lot better. Bowie, though, inching forward more and more so, getting further alongside every time through these corners.
You see that in terms of how he's approaching things right now. All this is to say, slow but steady sometimes wins the race. Definitely is helpful on the tires. You're able to methodically move your way to the pack. Keep dropping back. That's going to bring Holden on through yet again. Cody, you have a report.
Yep, a few drivers reporting right front damage of the 88 of Sanders. Sanders says that the damage is not affecting how the car feels. Back to you guys.
That's interesting to say, at the very least, running about 14th, and we know he was having some struggles earlier. Doesn't look visible damage.
Yeah, I was going to say, Justin, it's not affecting how it feels because it doesn't have damage, so you might have a bit of misconception there thinking he has damage that, or we're just not seeing it on our end of things, but that car does look clean to go. Still side by side up here, though, with Holden and King fighting for that spot right there. King's pitching a little bit hard on Holden right there. You saw he was pretty far under that little seam there through the middle of the racetrack, but Holden able to stay strong on the bottom, just not quite able to get the run yet to complete this pass.
Yeah, just not able to find a way to clear on by. Right now, is it just me or is he looks bored?
I mean, got a lot of race left, Justin, so might be okay to be bored right now. You don't want to be all emotional and hot up on the wheel this early.
Yeah, I mean, it is a long race. You're talking probably going to be 3.5 hours here this evening. It's definitely one of those types of events this evening where you have to keep yourself at least energized, I think you could say. Close to 20 to go, by the way. Garcia, a little bit by bit quicker. He was a 10th faster last time than the leader. This time through, just close enough to slowly chip away, and now might be trying to set this up here with the run to the outside. Will he get the run he's looking for? Indeed he will, because Harper goes to left stage into the wall.
Massive damage error on the left side of Timothy Harper. There was no contact there. It does need to be emphasized. That was purely the aerodynamics of this race car. Garcia did not do anything wrong with 23 Harper. just got close to one exit. It was enough to send that 23 around and cause him to lose it. We'll see what Harper can do with that damage, though.
So back down the order goes the 23. Heavy left side damage. That car definitely going to need a caution flag, to say the very least here. All that in mind as we come up to the exact 20 lap to go mark in this one. Some of the others just hoping for something to go right. Back here, Mark Sanchez, who's been solid in points races this season, amongst those back here. Reels back here, Jim Treat's back here. A lot of these cars running overlapped on pace in the 30.2s, 2/10 off the leader.
Definitely lacking a little bit of pace spread Donaldson up front, but still in their own battles back here. All these spots matter. Points obviously not paid this far back in the field, but building your track position throughout the night, working on getting your car better, finding how you race in different situations, all valuable information. It's just data that you keep filing away all night long, and you're going to use it at the end of the race to your best advantage.
It's all so much about just picking what you want to approach on the race, and better yet, how you execute in said race. And right now, see some of the air battles as we build up here. Right now, Matt Cox on the inside. Nick King making the move.
King's starting to fade back a little bit again here on this run. We'll see what Gallimore does in front of him here. Gallimore to the bottom right now. Gonna get to that left rear again. A lot of this has been what we've been seeing a lot with King. You get those guys get to his left rear and he pinches them down. He gets that run back down the straightaway. But you can see he's stacking them up behind him right there. Brings Feder Place and Murray in the picture. Feder Place went for a dial on Gallimore, but Gallimore was able to block it off. That's gonna give Murray clean air up top to rip to the outside of that 34 if he gets the run on exit.
Look at this, all over the rear end. By the way, off screen, Kenny Real, significant damage. Got into an incident that seen no caution flag. So some of the drivers are starting to lose their patience. That was with Jim Treat. Right now, Gallimore willing to take some patience and settle back in the line. Murray waiting for the hole to open back up on the BMP entry as he'll fall King's dirty air. Feder Place back up the inside of Murray.
Murray stalled off pretty hard on that exit. Didn't really pull much momentum from the outside compared to what you would typically see. We'll see what happens here. 1 and 2, all those cars run the top or middle, but Feder Place who goes to the bottom. But Gallimore with a late exit low, trying to look to the inside of the 12, and Nick King again just can't really quite get alongside, but he got the left rear air to pull him back a little bit to keep it close.
Now still offset 3 wide, yes. Gallimore. It's a chance to clear with it, go back to 2. And King, yet again, pushing a little bit hard here. Tires are already 32 laps old for a majority of these drivers. Take a look for the race lead, by the way. Donaldson still remains in front. Garcia still keeping the pressure high here as we go about. By the way, Timothy Harper continuing to plummet. Cody, you have an update.
Yes, it seems like he lost the toe link after that collision to the wall.
Surprisingly still running. Thank you very much. And how long do you think you could drive it? Trying to wait for the caution flag, Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean, as long as that tire isn't dragging so aggressively that it's going to blow over the next 13 laps, he'll get to that yellow on the lead lap and be able to have a chance to do some repairs to our race car. Right now, though, Bowie to the outside of Coffee. You saw he fired it up hard through center, going to give up a little bit of exit, but what he did by doing that was pinched off the 54's exit, was able to maintain side-by-side on the straightaway, try to set up the pass here down to 1 and 2.
Will the pass be done? You can see Coffee trying to track up. But we got the run, though. No side drop put on at all on the 51 machine. And Bowie gets clear. That's up to the 3rd spot here. Coming up to 12 to go in stage 1 tonight. And Bowie, at the moment, even with the battling, is your fastest car in the top 3. You mentioned that contact earlier, Jeremy. Jim Treat currently just trying to hold on. He's got a lot of cars stacking up behind him. They've lost 2 seconds to the pack in front.
Yeah, what happened was Street and Real had some contact that actually forced a lot of these cars to the apron to avoid it, did not trigger the caution, but you can see the amount of space that opened up on the racetrack in front of them really separated our field into 2 separate packs here. right now as they work off the back of Treat on back. You can see where that gap is.
Yeah, there's the gaggle, and there's the pack. And a lot of these cars are hungry to make some moves pretty quickly. And a lot of them just so happen to be wounded with damage or have Wayne Bowen mixed in. You see Vincent. He's maintained top 5 pace much of the stage. That doesn't last for much longer, though, as he'll have a buddy in Matt Cox looking to take away his top 5.
Cox are still working that outside, going to clear him now off of turn 4. We'll see what he can do here with 10 left in the stage. We'll see if he can work his way a little bit further forward, get up there to that battle. Going to be a little bit too much ground to cover, though, in all likelihood. However, Brandon Bowie around Nico Garcia for second. He has Donaldson in his sights for that stage win. Garcia with some contact with the wall there out of turn 2.
Yeah, he got loose, I think, as Bowie crossed up in front of him with the arrow, and Garcia got spooked almost with the arrow wash. Now is well off his rhythm, under attack by Alex Coffey again. Under 10 to go on the stage. And now, Coffey sees an opportunity with the way the 8 just used a little bit of the rears up.
See what Coffey can do here. A little bit higher for, oh, got the wall there too. These guys are really using every inch of the racetrack tonight. Cornette there slow on the inside, giving way to our leaders. Right now, Garcia there to the middle again, takes away some of that air. Wrecking down the back straightaway though, Blaine Wilson into the outside wall with contact with Jim Tree.
Under caution again. This stage has had a lot of yellows stack up. Let's take a look here, top it off. Hot Sauce Company replay. He and Tree find each other.
Almost some contact on entry right there, but Wilson gets down to the bottom. You can see he's just barely clear right now for this point in the corner. Still barely clear. Got a little bit loose. Ended up down the racetrack. Treat went for the gap, and Wilson came up and kind of closed it, and they just met in the middle.
And interesting enough, still brings on a caution flag. He didn't go fully around there, but might have gone 45. Chris Davis, going to be a good measure on it.
Yeah, you can see the air just kind of had Wilson out of control there, and lost all his momentum lifting to try to keep the ground under. Not a lot. The 6 of Jim Treat could have done the react to avoid that one.
And again, it puts us right back to the caution flag. And now what do we do? A lot of people staying out. First to pit is Corey Moore and Nick King. And Zach, do you flip the stage here? Some are trying it.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you're farther back, if you're outside maybe the top 15 and you think you don't have a chance at making some stage points there in the top 10, I would flip the stage, right? Corey Moore coming down in 14th. He's obviously going to go full 4 tires here, get right in the box, gas it up as much as possible, and I think that's the biggest thing you got to focus on is making sure you hit your marks, but you don't want to wear out your tires here with 6 to go. You're going to have around 5 or 4 laps to go in the stage, and then you're going to be leading, hopefully, most likely after everyone pits. So the biggest thing here, you flip the stage, you get ready to go for stage 2. The race off pit road, though, Corey Moore is going to get it over Nick King, and we'll be sending it back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Zach. And the rule is here to see what happens now as good opportunity. Talk about your driver profile. We mentioned a driver profile for this evening for one Jose Medina. He is that one. Brought to you by Off Axis Paint. He's based out of California. 55 years old. He is one of, if not the oldest drivers in the field. Yet to get a win with 37 starts, with his favorite driver being Jeff Gordon. It's pretty clear he's driving the 24 for a reason tonight. But most people don't really know about the detail of outside of himself on being the track. Retired corrections officer he is, who loves to travel, visit several children, as you can see. Has a lot of different memorabilia around his place.
Yeah, as most fans of this sport are, an avid collector. Obviously a pretty obvious theme here with the 24. A lot of DuPont Gordon merch. So definitely a big Gordon fan. Look at that sim right there. Obviously a nice setup there. You can see the really cool button boxes all set up. And there's Jose in the VR with the sombrero.
Yeah, has it right on top of the head and has that nice slick dodge that also stands out. The yellow and black really pops. It's not Bumblebee, which is a Corvette or Chevy, but it's there in terms of the speed. So just like that, 5-lap dash. Just like that, the field is getting all set to go. The radio is ripping them, by the way, or happily and playfully poking the fun in terms of the profile here tonight. It's a good opportunity to learn about drivers because a lot of people are closely tied up, so to speak, or keep closely guarded.
It's just nice to, see, beyond just the virtual car on the track. Like, these guys are real people, and it's really easy to ignore those things in life. And it's just nice to get that little personal touch and look and, I learned something new, and, always pulling for Jose out here, so it's good to see him having a good night so far.
Right now, Medina doing well. Keep the car clean in the 20. And we have tire spin. There's a crash. It's Kyle Holden. There goes all the clean cars in the back. And there goes that decision to take tires. The flip of the stage just collected just about everybody who did it.
You definitely saw some contact for the 12 of Nick King. I think Corey Moore woed up and mostly avoided it. I was going to mention that there was enough laps left that those tires may have been more than just flipping the stage. It could have even had a chance to go up there and race for points. This obviously will nullify that. More importantly, though, heavy damage there to the 97 Kyle Holden.
Yeah, and that is the stage. Barry Sanders just called a little early. Didn't even go.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I almost wonder if he was in the wrong gear and then he dumped it trying to get it in the right gear and had too many RPMs in it as he downshifted it. That's almost what it looked like. But we'll see here. We're stacked up in front of him. I almost think he had to have been in the wrong gear and dumped the clutch and got too much RPMs in it as he downshifted it, right? That's almost what that looks like there.
Yeah, that is definitely not the game plan. And all Murray could say is there was nothing I could do there. And that collecting a fair amount of drivers with some heavy damage. Holden obviously amongst those with it. Christensen took some hits. King was in the grass. Here's what Murray's seeing.
I mean, there's just nothing you can do in that situation as the driver of the 22, but he gets out of it relatively unscathed compared to some others in behind.
Yeah, you see with Medina just coming off the profile. Remember we just said he was having a solid race, keeping it clean? He got tested with that statement within 10 seconds. Just dodged it.
That good. Yeah, good job there by Medina. You see off the back bumper the chaos that was left behind. So the inside lane, a few guys there were rather fortunate as the incident did occur a little bit further up the racetrack from the onboard of Sanchez here. He did go for a loop, so he was not as lucky as those ahead of him.
Yeah, just got clipped at the very end. Spins him around. And as a result, we're under caution, just like that. As they said, this should be stage, but I'm not sure how this is going to go. We already had pit stops just happen as we're showing the replays. It's all going to be a little bit up in the air on how this is going to go.
Sanchez stayed out.
Yeah. Sanchez. It's an interesting decision. He's fourth anyhow. We've lost the camera. Is that a good call to stay out after he got spun?
If he didn't have damage, he really just went through the AstroTurf, so I guess I wouldn't have worn those tires out too much. He'd treat going down now, so that'll just leave us with 3 guys who were able to stay on flip the stage. Corey Moore had light contact in there, but he did not slide his tires at all, and I guess he has deemed that it did not do any damage to his machine.
Zach, what do you say here as, again, they've called the stage, but that means this run for stage 2 technical going to be a little bit longer.
I mean, for Jim Treat, obviously coming in, the 6 car, getting plenty of fuel and tires for all the way around. He'll be off and away. Looks like he's fixing some damage too. So obviously, I think the biggest thing when talking about stage 2 is we talk about that long run, but caution's precautions, guys. And I think the biggest thing is we just saw what could happen. We have old tires in the front row, so we'll see what happens here as we're coming back to green.
So Corey Moore, Black Car Shield, Mark Sanchez, all staying out at the very end. Everybody else took the stop. So this is going to be a little bit longer of a stage. It's originally supposed to be scheduled 100, but as he said, might have called it. I don't know if that's going to be indeed it here based on the lap. We'll get confirmation once we, of course, pass lap 100. Heard Sanders did mention on the radio this is or possibly is stage. But as you can tell with the quickie cautions, this is going to get a bit interesting. Here we go. Van Looy circles restart zone. Sort out how this is going to go for the stage. Or really, this is the start of one, or is this the end of one? We're back on our way, lap 100.
Everybody through gearboxes there cleanly this time. See Moore gets away. Sanchez and Hochschild stacking up the field there behind him. Donaldson cuts to the middle, 3 wide.
He wants to pick up track position pretty quickly. There is side-by-side for second. Sanchez on the outside. The 54 of Coffee on the inside. Let's make sure what this flag is this time. I'll let you know as soon as these drivers cross. Right now, Moore up in front to end lap 100. And there's the confirmation you're looking for. They ended the stage early, and technically speaking, that sets us up for a more than 100 lap stage 2.
Yeah, it's going to be an even longer test of tire wear here. Obviously, it's a small difference, but it is a difference nonetheless, so we'll keep tabs on that as we go. Sanchez has recovered nicely after a bad restart, though. He's already back up to the back bumper, recording more in that 19. So, not really somebody we're too familiar with seeing up front. Let's see how Nick Sanchez manages some cleaner air. Sometimes it really is just that much that you need, and you can run a lot better than you're used to just by putting your car in the right position with track position.
Absolutely. Right now, we're seeing just how some of the drivers are making it work right now, including Sanchez. Fresh off a spin, is going for the lead. The 29 off the inside. Can he get this to work? Yes, Mark Sanchez, who's got one top 5 and is on the cut of the postseason. Right now trying to hold on inside the chase standings for the middle third of the season. He's now up in front, but Moore is putting up a good fight on the outside. Look at that pass back.
Yeah, Moore surged hard there for 3 and 4. He had a really good corner. He'll lead at the stripe again. Sanchez not able to complete leading a lap just yet. A lot of space between those cars on the race. Still a lot of space. Sanchez did not arc out his entrance back corner at all. He's going to wash up through center. He paid for that.
Yeah, it's getting to where a lot of these drivers want to keep that clean air and never look back. If there's any slip up though on the tire wear, Coffey's right there to take advantage. On shield for his effort. His little attack was running in the teens to the 20s much of the time before this. Now they all rumble back. Keep in mind with this period, some of the drivers are going to have to work in traffic again. That includes Brandon Bowie, who's down in the Aero camp. He's in 7th. Zach.
Yeah, I just think the biggest thing right now, listening into some of the chatter with Aero 1, which is Brandon Bowie, Brandon Fetterplace, and Nico Garcia. A couple guys making adjustments. Bowie didn't make any adjustments to his car. So Fetterplace going with some minor changes. Garcia putting some major changes in that during the stage 1 caution. And obviously Bowie just happy with his car right now as it shows running P7. Back up to you guys.
Interesting to say the least here, and right now, that's the kind of thing you have to wonder is, how are things going to stay? The track temp hasn't moved a lot, Jeremy. Noticing that a lot with iRacing the past couple months with the builds, the way things have worked out. This is definitely one of those sequences where you expect maybe this is going to shuffle. It hasn't really.
Yeah, we'll be pretty stagnated from this point on tonight as that is concerned. The big thing that will change is just the dynamic heating and rubber buildup in the lines as we go. A lot of laps here, a lot of rubber gets put down, gets picked back up under yellows. Probably not as reflective of real life at this track as it is on some others on the sim, but definitely still something to keep in mind. Sometimes driving outside of that rubber can find you a little bit extra speed, but less rubber on the racetrack means your tires wear more than if you do run in that rubber.
Mark Sanchez amongst those that's now going opposite to the front of the field. He's dropped back all of a sudden, Cody.
Yeah, just a few laps ago, he was reporting that the car feels different in clean air. He said it felt amazing. Back to you guys.
Downside is Jeremy. He's now in dirty air.
Yeah, and he's going to keep falling back further in the dirty air because the car is going to start handling worse and worse, and he is on a little bit older tires because he went for about spin. So I think that this run will really test Sanchez's abilities to maintain over the course of run on-board hero Braden Donaldson in that 67. He's been up front all night long in the Pay RVA 67 car, so up to fourth right now. We'll see how he can continue to work his way back forward, chasing down Cox, Coffee, and Moore, who still is leading on that flip stage strategy call.
Yeah, the way that end of the stage got called through definitely flipped about here, and you gotta say, a lot of these drivers thinking about what they've seen in stage one. As some will say, well, you let the teams go. We've seen that with Errol and Dig in that dynamic between those two teams earlier. Expecting the pace short run to long run being ever different. Right now, it's Dig that's got the 1 and 2 on the racetrack. The Errol cars all riding about 6th to 7th, give or take on the racetrack. Eventually, though, the thought is there might be a change of that dynamic. If there is a change, rather, that you might see as those drivers adapt to it and figure out what they can change up to get the balance to switch.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of time to work on it and make those changes, so we'll see those swings continue to develop throughout the night, as Corey Moore did just put car another lap down. It's Kyle Holden in the 97, so Holden's still trying to recover from his issues, and he's going to be struggling along for a while here as we go green, as that car's a little bit off the pace with his damage.
Yeah, Holden, all he can do is hold on and run his own pace here, run towards the bottom. He is off tempo, running 30.2s. The leaders are half a second quicker at the moment. Survival, that's what you need to do, and make sure you're not in the way here. It is forcing everybody to move up, though, noticing.
Yeah, he's just staying there on the bottom, running his own line. You can see the line of race cars is going to continue to progress past him here. He'll start to run worse and worse lap times as he lets more of these cars go. It is the dilemma you're put in as a damaged race car going a lap down. You see Donaldson there around him on the outside. He's up to P3, so he worked his way around Cox at some point while we were on board with that. But quickly to the back bumper of Coffee. These two have been battling each other all night long.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of these drivers seem to find a way to magnetize to each other. Donaldson, if he started the season off full time, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the conversation with postseason for the chase. I don't know how far the 67 can go in the point standings, but there is a very, very small chance you'd have to wonder to make the Impact Sim Designs chase. Right now, Donaldson in 4 starts is 30th. But for comparison, Garcia with 6 is in 23rd.
If he makes all the races between now and the chase, I think he puts that car top 16 points with the pace we've seen so far.
That's the main thing, though. Is he going to be able to make all the races? Because obviously lots of things can happen over the course of the season in terms of the world of real life. After all, we're not all glued into our iRacing sim rigs to run 24/7, unfortunately. That was about 10 years ago.
Yeah, there's the, I was going to say, some are, and some have been, and some will be, but, you know, it's really the, big moment there for Coffee. You can see there on the onboard shot, he got really loose, but it really is indescribable how valuable that much extra time that people have in the sim as Donaldson's going to work the outside of Coffee to take that spot now after that moment from the 54. That'll put Donaldson through to P2 as he completes his pass throughout the course of his lap. But just to finish that thought, Justin, when you get to put that many hours into the sim day after day, it doesn't become a talent thing. It's just purely a massive advantage that's insurmountable no matter how much talent somebody on the other end of that spectrum has.
Absolutely. Oh, that was near contact. That could have been trouble. Coffee was offset with Donaldson for a moment, and Donaldson to the wall. Coffee looking to try and take up the chance. Here we go, near contact again. These two not afraid to push Coffee again, side drafting. Dig 1 versus Dig 2. Almost like thing 1 and thing 2. Coffee shows his car can take over second.
And they've both been racing each other hard. I do think Coffee's been pushing Donaldson maybe a little bit harder than Donaldson has pushed Coffee, but definitely both throwing their biggest punches at one another right now as they're going to be side by side again as Donaldson crossed back underneath the 54 of Coffee. There's some contact down the back straightaway. He's trying really hard to side draft him.
Yeah, really trying to get him back is, here we go. That was nearly turned around. I thought Donaldson was going to clip that little bit of the quarter panel with the way that was tracking up there. Now Donaldson is forced to reset again. See him just running the middle to bottom now as a result. Dig 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack, by the way. Corey Moore on his pit strategy hasn't relinquished the lead on the slightly, and I mean one restart, older tires.
Yeah, he didn't even fully get through the gear on his tires, so I mean there's really no tangible difference between his and those of his competitors around him. I would typically say he's a happy man watching this battle in his mirror, but they've closed up on him anyways, racing each other that hard.
Yeah, that's interesting right now with how things are going. Remember the aero cars? Well, Brandon Bowie is now up to 4th in the backdrop of all this. You see him running lowest out of anybody through 3 and 4. He's literally closing up the gap. About a 10th or 2 to the leader. Moore is starting to drop, and now the aero cars are pushing hard to get there.
Yeah, really have a big group of them kind of under a blanket here, all the way back to Sanchez and Knife. All these drivers really tightly packed up from Moore to the lead, back to that position. So Gallimore there in 10th is starting to close his way back in on this group as well. We'll see as they continue to battle for second, though. Donaldson keeps looking to be inside of the 54 of Coffee. Just can't ever quite get it stick to almost that tight space there again, Justin. He keeps pushing it that hard. He might eventually slip up and make the mistake and make that contact with the 54. We'll see what he does, though, as he's ahead entering turn 1 this time.
Once again, a poke for Donaldson. Can he get it done this time? He does, but Coffee will cross him up. Right back to all-star race style racing all of a sudden. But now, Moore's feeling the pressure. Car on the inside, car on the wall on the outside. But Donaldson, what line do you choose to hold back is the question. The 19 working to run through. By the way, as we continue on here with the battle, real quick reminder, this stage brought to you by RS Button Boxes. 3 wide again. It's Bowie having a back out.
Yeah, Bowie tried to squeeze there between Donaldson and Coffee. Donaldson, though, finally clear. Coffee throws it deep into turn 3. He'll slide up in front of Corey Moore. That's going to get Moore tight. He'll stack up behind him for second. Donaldson back to the front.
Braden Donaldson now leads. Oh boy, it's 3-1 again. Garcia, Cox all zipping by Moore. Moore's tires all of a sudden, the dirty air are gone. But Bowie, he's ready to fiercely attack. He's got a lot of pressure. The BMP car, Matt Cox, is about to join the fray up on the top of the racetrack.
Yeah, Cox working that outer groove right there. He's going to get a little bit of momentum down the front straightaway here. Not quite enough to make any moves on the 51 of Bowie. Up front, though, Donaldson's got that clean air in the lead, but it doesn't matter. Coffee's mounting another charge back to the inside. These two cannot separate from one another. Coffee back to the lead.
Coffee up front, but look at the run again. Still not done for the lead. Donaldson clears again. And at this point, with the way things are going, it becomes the question, when does Bowie strike? It's now. Coffee hit the wall, and there goes car 51, Brandon Bowie, up to second.
Those two weren't going to separate themselves. Brandon Bowie finally stepped in and said he'll do it. He separates the squabbling teammates. That sends Coffee all the way back to 4th, as Cox was able to take advantage and pass him as well. Donaldson continues to hold him to that lead, but the question will be for how long? We're only just about 30 laps onto these tires. They still got a bit to go, and Bowie's already worked his way to second, and looks like he's clearly got some more pace at this point in the run.
I feel like that might be the case here too, but it's still going to be about picking up the spots right now. Murray, by the way, he's the back end of this whole league group that's now glued together 11 cars within 1.8 seconds. Murray, he's not afraid to slant hard on the outside and try and find a way to pick up some spots set up for potentially after the pit stops.
Yeah, he'll get Sanchez here down the front straightaway. Just take a look here into turn 1. See Bowie entering a little bit lower than Donaldson. Cox all the way to the fence behind him. Garcia running the middle there, fading low, and then Coffey wrapping the bottom in 5th.
All that's to say, Bowie is trying to find a way to bring his different look car to the front for the first time. Near contact. There's the side draft. Bowie's got the run for the race lead. The Kyle and Samantha Bush Bundle of Joy Fund Machine drives its way to the point. It's car 51 now in the lead, but here comes BMP. Cox up for second, looking to rip that away.
Not quite going to clear Donaldson just yet down there on the inside. Donaldson will fight back with some momentum down the front straightaway. Garcia really loose behind them in 4th as we were on his onboard shot. You can see the car starting to point down to the inside wall off the corner, but he holds on to it for now. They're still fighting side by side for second. Cox still not able to get the momentum to clear. Pushing up, they're going to have contact door to door out of turn 2.
Still nothing working. That 00 just really wants to find a way to get there. Bowie just leads first laps, and Donaldson says, okay, up the racetrack, got contact.
Cox gave him a little bit of a hip check right there and just pushed him up the racetrack. They're going to be 3 wide now between Donaldson, Coffey, and Fetterplace. Fetterplace going to wrap that bottom and try to clear Donaldson. I don't think he's going to be able to clear Coffey, though, up there against the fence, ripping. Fetterplace tight. They're going to be 3 wide again down the back straightaway.
Squeezing up Fetterplace. Fetterplace not liking how aggressive it's getting here. Donaldson just trying to say, I want these spots back, please. Near contact again. Vincent looking to follow the open spot, and Donaldson, just like that, has dropped down to 6th position. All that's to say, the prediction for when this would flip the switch for the run, right on point, Jeremy.
Yeah, right there, looking up front. Bowie starting to put some car to the lap down. Now as he works through that traffic, you get a look here at Garcia and Cox at 2nd and 3rd. They're falling a little bit back off that 51 of Bowie. They're going to catch King in a bad spot there off of turn 4. King gets into the fence trying to leave space for those drivers on board, but once again with the 8 of Nico Garcia, we'll see what he does down here in the turn 1. Going to look to the bottom of that lap traffic, get some clean air as Cox runs the outside. These two are going to try to settle into their newly found positions as Bowie continues to work the lead as Cornette gives way.
Cornette stays well to the bottom on the apron, pushed up the racetrack. But yes, you can see some of the others zip by Cornette, just about causing issues there as he blended off the apron because he carried too much speed. See all he's doing? Try and duck down like a turtle, make sure he doesn't get hit here.
You got to be careful doing that though, because you make yourself more of a danger than you are just running your line if you do something like that and miss it like he did. Luckily everybody's able to avoid him, but definitely something that you want to avoid ever being an issue. See here Garcia and Cox, they have settled out their differences. We'll see if either one of these cars has the speed to chase back down that 51 of Bowie. He didn't really get away, so we'll see what they can do.
And now, here comes the question. When do you pull the trigger on a pit stop here, Jeremy, with this run? Especially, we're already almost 40 laps of the tires. Keep it straightforward, the same as the last time? Or you hope for the caution flag? Well, it came near immediately last time. Or do you just try run this out or split it up the middle? What do you see?
Yeah, so the stage is so long that you're kind of forced to split it down the middle no matter which end of that you're on. You can undercut it a little, you can overcut it a little. I think the overcut's the better play here. I think it's just going to lead to some more pace, and you're giving yourself some insurance for if they wreck during the pit cycles. But Matt Cox has closed in on Bowie. He looks like he's got a piece that he can contend with Brandon Bowie here.
Yeah, I feel like there's an opportunity here too. 30 flat last time by, 2/10 quicker than Bowie. Seems to be running very well in dirty air here tonight. For Matt, he is top 5 of the points for a good reason. It's not been as great as last season, I think. He's got to win, but his speed's been there. The new number would like a new winner added to it in the Watch Fire car.
Yeah, we'll see what he's able to put together. The good run on the outside right here. We'll see what he decides to do. So far, he's just going to follow that 51, not quite close enough to poke the nose in either direction. I think he's going to look for the top again here. No, he's going to look low into turn one. Bowie's going to cover that, put some dirty air, and you see that'll space him right back out. The wrong decision by Matt Cox for that corner.
What comes down to the decision making as a driver on the lane choice in a fight like this?
I think he knows Bowie's typically pretty defensive, so he's trying to, guess what Bowie's going to do to defend him. But I think you're really better off just running your line until that guy actually makes a defensive move to take away your line, because if he did so, he would have, had clean air and probably had the opportunity to make that pass for a lead. Now he has to rewind it back up and get the momentum while going back forward. And even just that one corner in dirty air, pushing tight like that put a lot of heat in the battery front that wasn't there. It might take a lap or two for that to come back to him as well.
See the slide up for Bowie. Here comes Matt Cox. Is he going to be close enough for a set? He's thinking of it. Answer is no. Trying the high side instead. And really, they are now starting to calm on down outside of the battle for third between Garcia and Fetter Place. This is to where the rhythm starts to really solidify itself. Look at the run to the outside. Cox blocked off. Crosses up Bowie. Bowie allows the run to the inside. 51 will play defense from the outside line, but Matt Cox will take the slider anyhow to park the bus. Doesn't even need to fully park it. He's got the gap.
Yeah, he actually didn't run a slider, and Bowie lifted, expecting him to, trying to run a crossover. So when Cox didn't run the slider, it just gave Cox a massive advantage. So he's clear for the lead. Now he'll go right back to the top, though. He likes his car up there. He's been working some good pace up there. And I mean, he's the fastest car on the long run right now, so clearly it's not hurting his tires running there. Better place, though. You mentioned he won here a week ago in the All-Star race. He's worked his way up to third quietly here, and he's reeling these two in.
Slowly but surely, he's trying to replicate what was similar to last time at the All-Star race, Jeremy. Once we were at this point last time out a week ago, he found some pace under the nighttime. Slowly but surely trying to figure out, is there anything else he can do to close? Coffee, by the way, trying to attack Garcia in the background. See right now, Coffee's had a solid race tonight. No major issues for car 54 this evening.
He has some time race with his teammate. He's held on better than Donaldson. Donaldson falling backwards through the field after that contact he had with Cox a little bit earlier on in the run. He just got passed by Murray. That puts Murray up to 7th. On board here, Mark Sanchez. He's maintained in the top 10, Justin. I would say this has been an absolute win for the driver 29.
Some of the drivers just hoping for caution on the radio, I think, at the moment. But that's not going to happen unless somebody makes a major mistake here. There were some league races called throughout the week where it was a challenge to get green flag stops. Tonight, this seems to be one of those races where it may go either way. Race lead, side by side again. Bowie up the inside for a moment. Look at the side drafts. He just stopped Cox dead in his draft. Here comes Bowie for his own attempt.
Not going to clear him. He sent it in pretty hard, so he's going to pay the price on exit. Cox going to get some nice momentum here down the front straightaway, but Bowie's still going to be able to side draft on that left rear and hold even. Not quite as aggressive down the front straightaway as it is curved through that dog legs and both the kinks on the front straightaway as he can be on the back. Still going to be side by side. We'll see what Bowie does this time.
A little bit of shifting hearing when it comes to one of these cars in the fight. Bowie, a little bit on the paint that time, got a little bit tight pushing up though. Run back as Cox hits the wall. Here comes everybody else. Better place with a big head of steam. Does he force it 3? No, he'll just wait on the bottom, try and work with Bowie as Bowie clears.
See what Cox does there. Not quite going to get enough of a run. He's going to start to look to the left rear, but he's going to be inside of Bowie now entering turn 3. Better place Bowie. Those two are teammates. It'll be interesting to see how third place approaches this. Cox really tight again, and he gets into Bowie. That's the second time Cox is in that better place. 3 wide takes the lead.
Here comes Coffee as well. These two were fighting so hard, everybody zipped by. And Coffee retakes P2, but Fetter Place is your leader for the first time tonight.
Cox did essentially the same thing he did to Donaldson earlier in this run. Got in there too hard, drifted up the racetrack into the door of the 51 of Brandon Bowie. Not as hard of contact, but still cost them both positions. Cox already outside of the top 5. He's pitting.
Pit window is open. We're about halfway to the stage this time by coming up. So it is a interesting time for some, but now it becomes the question, how powerful is the undercut possibly going to be? Cox, I think, had an issue in the pit stall. Everybody else rolling.
And the undercut's going to be powerful short term. He'll come out way ahead of everybody who pits after him as long as he doesn't, have any catastrophic issues with the stop. But long-term picture here, I do think the overcut will pretty easily trump an undercut at this racetrack.
Yeah, this is to where we're going to see a busy pit road. Alex Murray and Chris Davis just came down and out the window for Kenny Rio this time. Catalano, Matt Mackin amongst those. Indicated stops are coming up. Some of those drivers are stopping well on the racing surface. Coffee trying to go for the race lead before that entry.
Weird run for Coffee here. He's had the issues where he got shuffled back and then on the long run worked his way back forward after getting shuffled. Not something you really typically see. So definitely some good pace there in the 54 if he can stay out of those really hard battles and, some other cars' issues around him.
Yeah, really going to have to deal with lap traffic here also mixed in. That's Nigel Christensen that's been wounded much of the way. Right now, Coffee thinking about a poke. Now tucks back to the outside. The run up towards the wall. Chris Vincent amongst those who enter pit road this up past time by the way. Right now, this is an interesting spot here with the lap car here. This takes away a window to pit. Nick King just ducked down pit road in front of them.
Some more cars coming for stops right there. Is that Bowie? I believe that was. Yeah, Brandon Bowie in the pit road. He had a lot of speed as he was getting toward the speed cone. Not sure if he made it or not. I would trust that he did, but would be something to take a look at for sure. If he did get the speed, though, it was definitely quite an impressive pit entrance.
Yep, you see. Will Coffee get the chance to take this away before we enter? Garcia still dealing with lap traffic. Outside of them, Donaldson and Sanchez have fallen off near 3 seconds to the lead battle. No indications of error stops yet. Corey Moore indicated pit stops already. So he's taken the 2 laps ago. Medina coming in this time as pit road continues to be an active place here in this one, Zach.
Yeah, just overall, I think with the 24 and everyone coming to pit road, it's when do you stop? Do you want to get the undercut? Do you want to get the overcut afterwards, right? As a lot of drivers come down pit road. But I think the biggest thing here is just making sure you get your car settled down. You saw Medina get down pit road fine. He's going to bring it all the way down, find his pit box, but you want to be clean. Right, he's going to bring it in, he's going to have that opening, which helps him out getting in, and he's in right away. 4 tires and fuel most likely for the 24, but I think overall, if you can get on a pit road safely and not get a black flag or a penalty, you're going to be in a good spot. Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much. And based on the notes received, we might very well see the stops coming up here for at least these drivers in a couple moments. Greg Carr just entered pit road. They have Blake Horshill trying to drive his way on through here. Quiet night for car 38. Now down to 24th. They'll just sort themselves out quickly. Garcia, for his sake, is having a hard time closing.
Yeah, definitely fading a little bit here at this point in the run. This is when you probably start looking at your marks for pit road, getting ready to stop. He's not quite running as efficiently as he had been. And as we say, that Garcia did just call, he'll be putting this time here. Sanchez on pit road. He'll take his 4 tires and fuel. Really, really good run this stage from Mark Sanchez after he flipped that track position. Oh, Coffee wrecked down the front straightaway.
Oh, hold on. Caution not going to come out yet. Coffee is rolling. What happened to the 54? We'll look away for a moment. I think he tried to pit and made a mistake.
Take a look at our Top It Off Hot Sauce Company replay here. See, he's in the middle of the track right there. Really late break to try to pit. If he was trying to match the 8, and yeah, he was just never going to make it. Tried to correct back out to the racetrack and almost looped it. Had to lock it down and go all the way back around. That is a massive self-inflicted mistake there by Alex Coffey.
Zach.
Yeah, as Jeremy walks us through that replay, I think obviously trying to get the car slowed down, stay in front of the 8, keep your track position. It looked like he was on a slip and slide coming into pit road, but Brandon Fetter placed the 34 car. He's going to bring it down in 4 tires and fuel for the Aero cars. You see the right sides get jacked up. Obviously, he'll go to the left and he'll be gone out of his way. But the biggest thing is when you come back onto track, you got to work your way around these cars safely that may have those old tires. Riding on with Barry Sanders right now, he's obviously needs to keep going, but he's going to have those slower tires, so you need to be safe getting around him. Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much. Of note, Coffee just entered this time by and nearly slammed the wall down. Everybody else stretching with Donaldson and Sanders along with Treat. The last of some of these drivers on the racetrack and hoping for a caution. Sanders, he's got 64 laps into the run this time. Treat, you can see, is on the brakes.
Good smooth entrance here for Treat. A little bit conservative, but that is better than a penalty 100% of the time. So good job at Treat. Gets down the pit road with no issues whatsoever.
So that leaves just one that's on the lead lap at least. It is this car. Barry was saying, come on, caution a while ago. And well, it's not come out yet. He's got a couple laps. Oh, he nearly got one. Nigel Christensen tried to pit and I think just missed the barrel.
Yeah, Christensen was a little bit down there in no man's land. Still on board with Sanders. See some damage there on the front of that car still. He's been struggling tonight. Not the evening Nigel Christensen's been looking for. But we're back on board Barry Sanders. See a car merging off a pit road there in front of him. Gotta think Barry will be pitting soon here. To the bottom of the racetrack, he's been running the top. He's pitting this time, Justin. Oh, he's way up though. This is not how you're supposed to approach that pit entry.
Oh, this isn't good. Oh, he made it. Didn't hit the wall. Took a lot of momentum that time. One of the faster pit entries on the day. His car that has damage. Roll on down to complete our pit cycle for stage 2. Bowie will cycle in front. You know who's in second? Alex Murray.
Yeah, that's just a driver executing his cycle really well. Murray definitely one of the cars that undercut a bit. Having a really tough time with a lap car right there for him, but he'll get on by now. He definitely undercut a bit, but he also executed perfectly in and off of pit road and made up a lot of time doing that as well.
So Murray will rumble his way ahead. Now we'll find out on the older tires how that sticks. Matt Hawks and Chris Vincent sticking with him. Some of the drivers like Sean Rogers looking to get the elbows out here. Rogers trying to make his way forward. Mind you, Fetter Place cycled back here with how he got fresher tires than everybody else here.
Yeah, Fetter Place, one of the later stops, so he'll be looking to be better as they get further into the run. See him right there in front of Rogers as we're on board with the 44. Working his way down through 3 and 4. He's trying to get a run on that 8 of Nico Garcia.
Been really interesting how it's cycled. You have Davis that's all of a sudden up here after being in the back much of the way. A lot of the others trying to sort themselves out here as the run goes on. Cody, you have a report.
Yeah, just to give an update on the 88, we saw him running for P1 here. He reported some damage and he's looking to to get back out on track and recover. Back to you guys.
And the tough thing is, he's one of the last cars in the lead lap. Thank you very much, Cody. Right now, Vincent, back to his viewpoint, is your second biggest mover, right behind the biggest of the race. Third and fourth is where they run.
I would say Vincent's been the most impressive driver so far here tonight. Justin, been a really impressive run all around. This is not strategy, this is not luck, this is pace. The 33 has run top 5, maybe just outside the top 5 all night long. That is really, really strong effort for him.
It's been interesting how it's worked for Davis. Remember in stage 1, he was in the 20s the whole time, then got involved in a caution. He's getting swarmed though by a lot of drivers on fresher tires here that are zipping on by.
Yeah, he's on some of the oldest tires on track right now, so he'll continue to fall backwards as this run develops with that, but in good shape right now to still finish, you know, in the top half of the field and on the lead lap when the stage comes to a conclusion, and reset and fight for some more points in the final stage of the race.
So now, they look to try and execute. It's going to get interesting how things may go with the lucky dog here as things go. These leaders going to have to deal with the lap traffic. Catalano is the next one that can fall lap down, followed by Kenny Real. Then from that point, it's going to be a little bit of time. So if you're some of these drivers at the tail end of this lead lap, outside of being Freddie Flintstone, what's kind of your thought on go, go, let's pedal away?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely pushing right now if you're on the overcut strategy, trying to get some of that life out of your tires. And yeah, you also got to take care of them. Oh, man, Mackin has been in a couple of tight spots as he's been getting lapped here. Vincent and Cox on through now. See, that's the battle for third. Vincent's actually working over Cox right now for that position. Looks like he's a little bit quicker, so he is definitely pedaling away at that car right now, Justin.
Yeah, just trying to find the tempo. Back in with the Kyle Busch cars, you've seen there for a moment, running up high side. So right now we're under 30 laps to go. Stage number 2 of this 300 lapper. Corey Moore has been up and down the board. He's kind of gravitated to where he was running before the strategy call now. About the edge of the top 10. Has Gallimore in the battle box also, technically speaking. It's been a solid night, but it obviously was hoping that car would stay up at the front like we've seen in the first few laps of stage 2.
Yeah, he got shuffled, and when he got shuffled quickly, but he was able to kind of just, you know, hang in where he fell to, so he'll still be hanging around this top 10. I think he's punching about where that car is capable of running right now, so we'll see if he can get a little more out of it as the night progresses, but looking like he's still in pretty good shape.
Just trying to work the wheel. Overall, as we're already past halfway overall in this race, how do you feel about how tonight's gone for many of these competitors in what has so far been a near 2-hour event?
Most of them have done a great job just keeping their cars clean and staying out of trouble. See Tim Harper there on the outside. He's on the upper end of that. He had an issue early, still a lot of damage, and that has derailed his night as he continues to fall through the field, running slower lap times, already multiple laps down. He is basically out of the race at this point unless something monumental were to occur to bring him back into it. And that's really what it comes down to in a long race like this. You can't be the guy who made that mistake and damaged your race car. You got to keep going and keep it clean and try to stay out of those bad aero situations if you can.
You see just how much Fetter Place is on the haul. Look at his run here, up the inside, looking for fourth.
Tight door-to-door there down in the turn 1, but he'll clear Vincent for now through the center of the corner. Looks like he's going to be able to maintain that momentum on exit, so he's up to fourth. We'll see what he's able to do with the 00 Matt Cox. He's running half a lane down on the straightaway as they head down in the turn 3, and he'll get that clean air taken away. Maybe a bit of a mistake right there, but he's so strong compared to these guys on exit, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, now, here comes the question. Do you think Better Place has enough on the tires to gain up 2 seconds? With the way things are going, he's got 6 lap fresher tires than Bowie.
Yeah, I think he's got time to get there right now. He just got to work through his passes quickly. He can't spend a lot of time making each one of them, so we'll see what he's able to do with Cox. Is not quite... Oh, he got him. He cleared him there, so that's good right there. It was a 1 corner. Pass is done. Blocking him a little bit down the front straightaway. Cox trying to cross back to that inside. He's going to force Better Place to run the outside here through 1 and 2, but Better Place will find some clean air up there as Murray's running down in the middle line.
Yep, Murray trying to find a way to get around the traffic. That's currently choosing to run a little higher up than the bottom. Catalano about a half a lane up, phases up. Murray finds the gap though. Got the chance to zip on through as Bowie has a couple cars between him and the 22. The way things are going, Catalano does not look too happy here, running 22nd.
Yeah, his day is kind of falling off the chains a little bit. 22nd a lap down, and as the leaders progress forward a lap more race cars, it takes him more out of contention. You see Better Place there on the inside. He'll work past this car now, working up to the back bumper of Alex Murray in 22 in a hurry. Better Place running the fastest laps on the track, lap after lap, even in the traffic.
Yeah, right now Catalano at least is getting amused, I think, with the commentary in his chatter. Watching about as Better Place in front of him. Getting a great chance to make the move on the fresher tires. Makes it easy as Murray claps the wall.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there for 22 Murray, but he'll still be in third here, and I don't know how much more speed those cars behind him do, but either way, Murray's not going to fall too far back from his position, so he's definitely netted himself forward throughout this pit cycle.
Take a look at Kenny Reel. He's amongst those trying to hold on for the lead lap. Bowie's not having an easy time getting around him. As a matter of fact, hardest we've seen anybody off the lead lap fight here as Warnoff tries to get a lap back here. I think Bowie is allowing Reel to at least stay in front for now with how hard it's pushing.
I don't know how much he's letting him or how much Reel is just putting up a really good fight right now. See Astronaut with the fresher tires slicing his way between. That's going to make this even more complicated for Bowie to navigate, trying to find any clean air he can on that 51. That car's not handling quite as well as he'd like it to. You see a little bit of a bobble there up off of turn 4, so Bowie may have some adjustments to make when we get to the stop under the yellow in a few laps.
Yeah, this is to where you better hope this gap holds if you're Brandon Bowie, but I don't think there's a chance there yet. The gap's down to about 7/10. Better Place is charging. And Bowie continues to get fed dirty air by these cars in front. How aggressive they're battling. Mind you, Reel is near equal on the tire set. Better Place now within drafting distance. He's going to have to deal with the dirty air again.
Yeah, dirty air is definitely be a factor, but his car, just with the fresher tires right now, it looks like just to be the strongest car. It's not going to affect him as negatively. He's also quietly pulled Alex Murray along with him here, and Nico Garcia just off the back of Murray with Vincent. So really have 5 cars kind of closing in on this picture for the battle for the lead. If they get fighting really hard, we could see them all really group up here late in the stage.
Luke Cody's got an air update standing by.
Yeah, just to focus on the 92 car, the lucky dog candidate of Ryan. Not too happy. He's made several adjustments and still not too happy with the car, guys.
And that's the tough thing, Jeremy, in terms of adjustments you can say is you can only do so much with it before the iRacing sim will say, okay, would you like to break your entire setup?
Yeah, there's there is a limitation, obviously, in what you can do, but usually it's a big enough range that you can get the car closer to where you want it to be, unless it's so far massively off that it's irredeemable. But it's tricky, though, because a lot of the times you'll do things that should make it better, and it just doesn't sometimes. It just makes it worse. These cars are built on such a fine-tuned aero platform, especially with the diffuser, that if you make the smallest little bit of adjustment that misplaces where that diffuser is, it could completely alter the way your car handles.
Better Place having a hard time getting any chance to poke around. Bowie nearly hitting lap traffic. Contact for the lappers. Here comes Better Place. He says, I'm just going to get you through this before I go. Bowie hugs the inside. And as Wardoff again fights off the pressure, this has got to be frustrating for the 51 camp.
Yeah, it definitely is. Better Place choosing not to put his teammate in a bad spot there is what happened there. I mean, Astronaut's got something to fight for here, too. He's trying not to be 2 laps down at the end of a stage. There's a big difference between 1 and 2 down. 1 down is a lot easier to come back from. 2 down, your night is basically over. So he's fighting for something as well as Real, trying to stay on the lead lap right now. And you just look out back. It is bringing more cars into the picture as Bowie struggles to get around this lap traffic.
Here we turn the 89 again. This time through, 12 laps to go on the stage. Warnoff getting pushed out of the way, and here comes Better Place. Bowie squeezed off set 3. Now Bowie needs to find a way to go, and he's actually going to give this up. Better Place to the lead, and the 51 gives it to the All-Star race winner.
See what Better Place can do with the lap traffic now. His car obviously a little bit better right now at this point in the run than Brandon Bowie, so maybe he'll be able to complete his passes, but if he's not able to do so, we'll continue to see this gap closing up out front. Right now, we'll see what Better Place does to the bottom. Not really going to get much of a run here on the 89 of Astronaut, so he'll have to tuck in back behind him, but Astronaut got a little bit slowed down the straightaway, so we'll see what Better Place does down here in the 3 and 4 as he has position to be inside.
Seeing how hard Bowie was having a hard time to get through this. This time, giving a lot of space, not going to pressurize up the track with 10 to go. Does have Real defending. Kenny Real really does not want to lose this lap. There's some more tightness there.
Yeah, Azarnoff almost had some contact there with Better Place as Better Place came up the racetrack and almost initiated that contact with him. That'll put Azarnoff back 2 laps down, so he's going to be fighting hard on the outside. He got back to the right rear of the 34 here, but not able to hold it on the exit.
Yeah, now Kenny Real has to be thinking, what can I do without wrecking the leader to make sure I hold on to this? Right now he is 21st. Only driver on the lead lap, last driver on the lead lap here. 2 different story marks here, Cody.
Yep, just report the 51 and the 34 not too happy with the 99 as the 99 tries to stay on the lead lap here, and he is racing them. Back over to you guys.
Chris Cornett in the grass. No caution, we stay green as Cornett rejoins the racing surface. Better Place. Oh, there's a little bit of trouble in terms of that possibility. Nearly got into the back end of the 34 again, as now they are about to reel in and lap Nick King.
Yeah, Azarnoff getting runs on the 34 Better Place because Kenny Real keeps purposely dumping dirty air on the nose of that 34. Better Place now finally gets the big enough run to get fully alongside the 99. We'll see how hard Real races him now with their side-by-side. Gives him some space for the entry, but he's still going to try to hang tight on that door. Not going to be able to do it. Better Place clear here up off of turn 2. We'll see what Real does down the back straightaway.
Well, the answer is not much he can do. He's now your lucky dog car. How long does that last? Real has to catch up to the 38 to battle for it if the 34 keeps going. And just like that, the gap is growing. We're now down to 6 to go on the stage. And I think that's Kenny Real's worst nightmare with that maneuver, Jeremy, because Hartfield is not keeping up with a similar pace to what the 99's doing.
Yeah, he's not at all, so we'll see if Better Place is able to get that pass on board here. Jose Medina in the 24 car in the 14th position. That's Coffey in front of him. Coffey relegated all the way to 13th with that massive mistake he made there in the green flag cycle.
By the way, Jose Medina, his circumstance, having a solid effort now, up to 14th. Oh, Feder Place just about turned lap traffic. Right now, Hochschild getting into a dangerous move there is now the lucky dog. By the way, Team Arrow, 1, 2, 3. This is going right to plan for this long run to end the stage.
Flag to flag if we finish this out in the stage. So one of the longest stints of consecutive green flag laps you will see all season, if not the longest. Depends on where stage flags will fall later in the season, but definitely the potential to be the longest we will see. So right now, Garcia, though, working on the back of Bowie, trying to get that P2 position away from the 51. I think Bowie's tires really got upset racing those lap cars and starting to pay the price for it as he's fading into the V8's clutches here.
Yeah, this is to where a couple drivers being careful on the fuel strats, but it's definitely been an interesting stage, to say the very least. Now with the lap traffic mixtured in. Right now, Feder Place in position to stride the way. Coming up to 2 laps to go in stage number 2, brought to you by RS Button Boxes. Bowie trying to hold on for a spot. Garcia looking to keep up his charge. Can he get it done on the Arrow teammate?
Nothing much there for him that time. See, Real is reeling in that 38 for that lucky dog spot. We're going to take the white flag in the stage here this time, so to be taking the last lap of the stage. We'll see if Real can get to him there. Meanwhile, though, some lap traffic there on the front end of Feder Place. That's Barry Sanders in the 88. If he gets lapped, he'd be the free pass.
Now this is important. Right now, Sanders, will he get the inside charged on him? No, Feder Place will give him some brakes. Sanders and Arrow, one of the Arrow drivers, will get to stay on the lead lap. With the green-white checker flag behind him, it's Brendan Feder Place. Winner of stage 2, Bowie, Garcia, Vincent, Murray, Cox, Rogers, Moore, Davis, Donaldson. Well, that's your top 10 there at the time of the end of the lap. And just like that, the 34 picks up the stage. From, I believe that's his first of the season, Jeremy. That's a little surprising.
Yeah, definitely just showing a surge of pace here lately between last week and tonight. So Feder Place, the driver, has been getting better every week. He's been learning a lot from Bowie's teammate, and I think it's showing.
And the 7 cameras stay populated up here and get ready to sort out how they're going to handle this final run of the day. One more green flag stop expected here in this race. As Corey Moore just said on the radio, Jeremy, it was a fun stage. I think it was pretty fun. It was definitely a long stage with no major incidents that brought out caution flags, and it beat technically more than 100, but it was fun.
I'm just grateful for these drivers keeping it green while racing so hard. I mean, they were battling to the very end of the stage for those positions and the stage win. And we had some crazy 3-wide racing, some contacts, some beating and banging between teammates. We had Coffey's a little adventure missing pit road, and he did a good job recovering from that, and he'll get fresh tires and some track position back here. Just all in all, some really entertaining racing.
Pit stop time. Let's head to Zach.
Yeah, thank you guys. Obviously, it's going to be busy down here on pit road as they like to complete another pit stop as the drivers bring it on down. And Feder Place obviously doing a great job so far in that Arrow machine. We talked about it last time down after stage 1. Minor adjustments for that 34 car. I mean, for top 3 right now between Bowie, Feder Place, and Garcia, I think obviously the 3 of them are pretty happy with their machines. Talking quickly about the setups here. We talked earlier on, Arrow running those premier setup shop sets that they've always run all season long. Obviously, the dig machines are running those precision speed solution setups. As the race off pit road, Federer Place is going to get it. But one difference between the two is Aero's letting dig go with those precision sets, and they're able to run those cars back down. So I think that's the biggest thing right now, is seeing the difference between those setups from Premier and the setups between Precision. Something really important to know going on. Back up to you guys.
Setup dynamics, very important to say the very least. I think you can add Cody.
Yeah, speaking of setup dynamics here, the 25's got a little bit of damage. He's just going to take 4 tires and fix that thing up. And then both the 29 and the 6, they're loosening things up. And the 38 is reporting a little bit of a loose exit, so he's going to try to time things up here. But a few things to note here is also the tire strategies. It's up and all over the place from what I'm hearing, guys.
That's definitely interesting here tonight. Thank you very much, guys. With that in mind, the Offex is Paint 300 coming up to 1 to go coming up. Very quick break, restart coming up. Welcome back as we get ready for a restart. We continue with the Offex's Paint 300. We are just about set to get back underway. It's stage number 3. Aero in control as we come to the Van Looy Stickers restart zone. They took over command late. Let's watch for the pattern to continue. Here we go. Top 4, all even. We're back underway. Good jump with Murray to time it up with the Aero cars count.
Better Place going to clear his teammate down here for 1 and 2. Garcia's clear of Bowie as well, so he'll be able to slide in the second down the back straightaway. First side-by-side battles, hard contact in the wall for a few cars back there, but first side-by-side battle is going to be Cox and Murray for 4th.
Already we'll find out how much Dig wants this on short run. Right now, figure out how much Murray is trying to make a little bit of a bump. This time through, Murray outside, through turn 2, 22, looking for 3rd.
His way forward there on the outside of Bowie. We'll see what he can do this run. Hasn't really had a chance to run with track position so far tonight. This is the first time he's really starting with it, so we'll see what he does from this position. Corey Moore on the outside, and Matt Cox now, he puts himself back up in the top 5 if he completes this pass.
Yeah, looking pretty steady again on the short run. This is similar to the last run for Moore. Donaldson, he was one of those kicked around a fair bit. Look at that dive. Just about spooked Vincent up the track. Right now, Murray going ahead again, you were about to say. I'm surprised he's doing as well as he is tonight with how sick apparently he was during the week in terms of illness.
Yeah, I haven't actually really talked to him in a while, but he seems to go through stuff quite often, which is unfortunate, but always seems to be able to race through it. And it's something we see in real life all the time. Sick or injured drivers just sometimes perform better. It forces you to focus a little harder and you run better. So it could be something that's helping out Murray even a little bit, even though he may not be feeling it.
I mean, there is a strong counterpoint. I'm not going to go there. Let's put it that way. It's important to make sure You race, but don't race to the point of passing the threshold of health versus safety. Murray nearly got contact with Garcia a couple times there.
Yeah, obviously just sim racing, but a sensitive topic right now in our world of motorsports. Obviously want to, we had a silent lap early in lap 8 for a reason, want to keep the push family in mind, but always something to just really emphasize. It is so important to keep on top of your physical health, because it's not always just a small thing that'll go away.
Absolutely. And again, you have to give a lot of credit to a lot of the drivers putting on the schemes tonight. We mentioned Bowie having Kyle and Samantha Bush's charity on the race car here tonight. Actually changed up the number font a bit also from what's more so towards, I guess, a 2311 look to running the old KBM 51 number font.
Yeah, a lot of homages throughout the field, as you mentioned. See Garcia car there, specifically the 8 running that number with the Rowdy sticker on the hood. We've talked about Bowie with the Bundle of Joy Foundation on his hood. See, right now though, we're on board with Corey Moore in this 19. He's been working that high side, pushing his way back forward, and he's on the outside of that 8 car as we speak about it.
Have all this to say. Back straight away is where everyone's trying to get a little bit feisty, if you will. That includes Vincent versus Moore, but also the race lead. Look at Murray. First time all night, the 22's driven up to the front.
Fast race car, clean air. We'll see what he can do on this long run. He was one of the undercuts on the previous run in that cycle and didn't really fall too far off, so he may be a car that's in position to, kind of come up and steal this one away from everyone else, because he's been coming back from so much adversity all night long. This is the first real look at what his car is capable of.
That Cox, for his measure, well down the order. 10th at the moment. He's been running up at the front as of late. This run, though, losing a lot of ground. There's a little bit of argy-bargy up the road. Sean Rogers in front of Coffey.
And Coffey slicing and dicing there, trying to find his way back forward after his little bit of issues in that second stage dropped him outside of the top 10. He's back up to 7th right now, but he's still also trying to take care of those tires, something we know he does so well. I recall this race here a year ago. Justin, he was one of the guys that did a really good job on the long runs all night long, if I remember correctly.
Yep, and now you see how Vincent, at the very least, just let the Dig cars burn their tires up yet again. Dig again, commanding short run. Long run is what will win the race. Here is the 44. Rogers riding on in 6th in a cavalcade of race cars. Beast Mode Performance Machine has Coffey looking to zip by, and does.
Yeah, good shot of momentum there for 54. Rogers wasn't even thinking about trying to fight that one. So Coffey picks up that position now. He'll be back up to 6th, looking at Vincent and Moore there in front of him, still on board here. But however, Sean Rogers able to foul back in line there between Coffey and Bowie.
As time ticks away here, in terms of the philosophies with how things are racing out, if you will, becomes the obvious question here. What, in terms of the tire measures, Kels, can he do here tonight? You see right now Bowie, he got a lot of aero pushed way up the racetrack.
Yeah, it's just really hard in this dirty area. You'll see that push a lot. It's something that's really hard to fight. You just got to try to keep the left front of your nose, that left headlight in clean air. That'll usually be enough to get the car planted. But once again, there just didn't do it for Bowie, and he's pushing again on exit. They're stacking up in front, though. Vincent and Coffey both looking for ways around Corey Moore.
Yet again, looking to go. Vincent washes up. Moore does a good job to get the car to stick. Look at the 3 wide, though. Bowie will see a lot of craziness in front of him, because Alex Coffey is the one who just forced it. Look at that send. Chris Vincent stays on the outside, of keep in front of him, though.
Actually, the real winner out of that did end up being Brandon Bowie. He picked up some positioning. Oh, that's really tight squeeze there for Sean Rogers and Corey Morvo. But Bowie picked up 2 out of that, and he's already back right on the back bumper of the 54 and the 33 of Vincent, looking to try to pick up those spots, as they're still going to be side by side there for 4th.
Yeah, Coffee again is showing that he wants to go in that car piece machine. Right to the arrow goes Vincent. That could have been bad. And there goes Bowie.
See if you can clear them down on this end of the racetrack. We're looking off the back of Murray. You see that back there behind them. Fender Place and Garcia have closed back up on this 22 car. So the clean air not quite working out as good as he would have hoped so far here in the 22.
Right now, Bowie, I think, is saying, if you're going to start burning up your stuff early, I'm going to start going a couple laps for the switch. Right now, they are slowly, all the aero cars are picking up tempo. But Coffee again squeezes. Clears on by as you see everyone zip their way through down this front straightaway.
On board here, Brandon Feder Place down the back straightaway, still trying to close that gap to the back of the 22 of Murray. Feder Place has shown that in that last run he's the strongest car in the field. He's going to try to continue that trend here in the final stage of the race, looking to win one of the crown jewel events here in the Moonshiners Racing League. But Nico Garcia with a run to the outside, where did that come from?
Well, I think it came from the outside line. State the obvious, Garcia going to the point. Garcia takes it away, and there's the long run. Again, it's Arrow now with the command.
Garcia is able to space himself out instantly as they're still side by side there between Murray and Feder Place. Feder Place going to try to take advantage of this 22 while he can. Not the situation he wanted, though. I don't think he wanted to see his team car get up there and clear for the lead before he was able to do so.
Now, at the very least, Murray trying to fight back here, but again, this is just showing where the priorities of the cars may have gone by here. You have some now prioritize getting speed built up to gain track position, others trying to find a way to make sure that car doesn't fall off a cliff. Donaldson, for his sake, he's amongst those trying to regain some old spirit. Remember, that 67 was the top competitor in stage 1. Since getting pushed back with aggressiveness, has not been able to find ground. And you see second still at the 22s.
So that higher line to defend that position, he'll hold on to it for now. See Bowie up there to 4th behind them. That's Rogers on his back bumper. So Bowie trying to come back forward now on this run. On board once again with Sean Rogers. Get a look at that wheel right there. Something I've noticed we can kind of tell when he's shifting and not shifting. Oh, aside from his hands, just the light on his wheel too. Justin, I don't know if you picked up on that so far tonight, but you can kind of see where he is in his RPM range based on those lights right there.
Yeah, just keep an eye with that. Look at how that cut came to be. A little bit of a hardier one again, and Rogers staying right up on top of it to try and force that 51 off the gas. There he goes again.
He's been working the gears all night long. Big move there for Donaldson to be inside of Bowie now. He's going to try to take advantage of that battle, see if he can pick up a spot on the 51 of Bowie. See that 54 and 67, they've been nose to tail here. They just have not been able to find themselves apart from each other for too long tonight.
So Bowie, at the very least, trying to back up some of the corners here with Coffee. Looking okay. That was nearly turned around there. Look at that close call. Donaldson and Bowie nearly made contact. Obviously, you're thinking big picture in terms of the making sure your car's there with the way things are going. What else are you thinking about at this point of the run? As I think one of the drivers in the background scraped the wall that may have been around Chris Davis.
At this point in the run, I think a lot of these guys are probably getting kind of tunnel vision on their battles that they're around. Murray continues to fade back here. Rogers around his outside. Bowie was looking for a hole there, not able to do so. Oh, contact with Donaldson. I'll tell you, Braden Donaldson side drafts harder down the straightaways than anybody I've ever seen at this racetrack. He's been hitting guys all night long in that left rear quarter panel.
Yeah, now all this is to say, near Argy-Bargy. I think Bowie got pushed up the track there a little bit. Murray's tires have clipped off. At this point, what can you do to make an adjustment if you're Murray or any of these DID cars to get the long run in this car for the end of this one?
Yeah, I mean, you got one more stop, right? So you can make changes with that stop. Besides that, though, you're just going to have to make changes behind the wheel and in the cockpit of that race car and how you're driving it. So not much opportunity to work on at this point. Murray actually running significantly worse this run than he had in our previous run, so I wonder if he went the wrong way on his adjustments, and that's what he's paying for right now.
Look at Matt Cox try and zip his way through. 00 zips his way to the outside. That's for 7th.
He's going to pull Vincent with him as well there. So Vincent now to the outside of the 22. I mean, Murray just can't do anything. They're just picking him up and putting him down. He continues to fade all the way back to 9th. He'll be struggling to hold on to the top 10 before too long here.
So right now we're just about in the green light on the fuel tank. Got a report. Cody, you have a copy.
Yeah, speaking of the 22 with the fall off, he ended up making a run adjustment. So let's see if he can get that adjustment fixed back up. Back to you guys.
Zach, to you.
Yeah, flipping it the other way, now talking about Aero, obviously Garcia, Fetter Place, even Bowie, not making a lot of adjustments at the end of stage 2, and as you can tell, they made the right adjustments at the end of stage 1 to put themselves up there. They're maintaining that track position as you continue to see the 22 machine fade here in the top 10. Back up to you guys.
That's definitely one of those spots where, obviously for Murray, could have, if he made the right decision, it would be possibly different, but now you got to live with it here, Jeremy.
Well, let's look at this from the opposite end of the coin. Let's look at this little optimism. He may have made the wrong adjustments and he clearly hurt the race car, but he found the right adjustment for a short run at the end of the race against Yellow because he flew through the field in the short run. So if we get a late Yellow, he should definitely go back to what he has in the car right now.
That might be something to watch for. But the main thing is going to be getting the track position back, because Murray's gone from being a leader to dropping down the order. Rogers running 4th, by the way. Staying behind and trying to pick up Donaldson. Might have gone the right way in this situation, because right now, that 67 all of a sudden went from 8th to 3rd in the past few laps. He's running about the same pace as the Aero cars, so he found something.
He's doing a fine job right now. Fetter Place working over Garcia in front of him, and he's just kind of pulling them both back in, so he'll throw his name into the hat there for that battle for the lead before too long. And we've seen tonight Justin Hill be as aggressive as needed to try to make that move happen when he gets there.
Donaldson looking to try and find any way he can break through for a win in his limited starts in this series. Looked pretty well good in the All-Star race also. He's been fast tonight. Coming to 63 laps to go. Final stage of this one. For those tuning in, a lot of comers and goers since stage 2 started. Garcia's up in front, Fetter Place followed by Donaldson. They've led more than a third of the race combined. Yeah, Brent Bowie's led 38 as well. Matt Cox has led laps. Coffey, Murray, Moore, and Sanders have all been your various leaders here tonight from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Speed's coming up again for the 00. Matt Cox looking for the top 5. Cox
trying to work his way forward there. Bowie's kind of been quiet this run. We'll see if we're about at that point in the run where Brandon Bowie does the Brandon Bowie things and will start to roll forward. So looks like that's exactly what he's doing as he works his way to the inside of Sean Rogers in the 44. We'll see how much of a fight Rogers is able to put up there on that outside line. Almost some contact there off of turn 2. They'll still be side by side here, headed down into turn number 3. I think Bowie's advantage on the tire should be a little bit more potent down here in this end of the racetrack, but Rogers still holds high on the outside lane.
Getting ever the more consistent is the 00. His average pace over the past 15 laps is right in the same ballpark as your top 2 at the moment. 60 to go. Rogers looking again. This is for 4. No.
Still not really able to make any hay there for Cox and 00. These two are teammates, obviously, so he'll look for an easier pass than what Bowie had, and that's exactly what he'll get. Rogers gives his teammate the position there for 1 and 2. So Matt Cox now up to 5th place in the 00.
So continuing the quest to try and move forward here. Mind you, tonight's gone on. Lap times have stayed relatively stable. For those curious, track temperature, would you believe it's the hottest it's been in terms of the average potentially on the entire night, Jeremy? After all, it's 84 at the moment. That curve with the way the rubber and the heat buildup has been staying right up at its peak just about the entire time because we kept up the stages.
Yeah, I love that little graph we have there. It kind of shows its progression over the event. You can see the little divots where we go under yellow and we stop pounding heat in the racetrack with these heavy, big race cars. But right now, back on board, Brandon Bowie's trying to get to Donaldson. Donaldson stopped his progress towards the leaders, actually started to fall off of their lap times ever so slightly. So we'll see if that continues to trend in that direction for the 67 or he can find some second wind in those tires.
Right now, we're almost at the mark where we're seeing a lot of stops. Matt Mackin about a minute ago came down. He still has a left pit road though. He's had some issues. We've only had 4 cars either not start or out of the race in general. Alex Coffey is going to back into the top 10 here. 54. Looks like at this point, again, is suffering what most of the Arctic cars have been all night. Long run blues.
Vincent there in 7th has been a good run for him. Not his strongest run so far tonight. You guys have kind of leapfrogged him from previous runs, but still holding good in the top 10 with some good track position. Coffee fighting off the back of that car, trying to find any way around Vincent, but Vincent undisturbed by the aero pack there from the middle of 1 and 2.
See how much the wheel gets worked about for Davis. Murray's going to be in a very tough spot here. The way things are shaping up. Now outside the top 10 again. Falling right back to about right where he started this race. He's past back where he started now.
Yeah, he's overcome a lot tonight. We've seen him in a few incidents, so if he can come out of this with a top 10, that would be huge for his day. Right there behind him, you see Murray has faded back outside of our top 10 and is continuing to drop. That's Mark Sanchez going through the infield grass down the front straightaway. He had a moment there out of turn 4.
A little bit of a scare, and now Brandon Bowie stays off behind Donaldson. And so it becomes the question. Do you split it in half? Do you go long? What's the call here? Decide the race, obviously. We've seen a lot of the drivers that pushed long, like Better Place, made up all the ground and went further on than they were before.
Yeah, the overcut 1 stage 2 will also win the race. It's very unlikely to see that go in a different direction. The only way it does go in a different direction is just a driver making the right adjustments, making their car way better while making that undercut and holding on to it. But I do not see that happening. I think the overcut is the play here. We'll just see who executes it the best. Garcia has continued to lead in the 8 up there. We got to wonder how long he'll run his race car in the lead. But they're side by side for third. Bowie's still trying to come back forward.
Still nothing doing to make this pass. Donaldson clear. There goes the 67. Up to P3 yet again. And now, right about that halfway point of the run, lap cars are all in front of the race leader, by the way. Garcia about to reach 2 different cars.
See how this goes for him. That's kind of on over there in front of him. First car on the docket for Garcia in the 8. Let's see, where is he going to go down here in the turn 1? Lapped car to the bottom, so Garcia will run the middle. Catalano's going to push up, though. It's going to make Garcia's line a little uncomfortable here off of turn 4. Yeah, he got loose there, Justin. He does not want to be in that situation.
Definitely not. And right now, Garcia needs to get this done quick. Got the first one done pretty quick, and now Fetter Place gets fed the dirty air. Now, these two, keep in mind, technically speaking, have the gap. There was a pit stop. Matt Cox just opened up the window.
I hear wrecking.
Caution flag is out.
Oh, Murray's going to pile in late.
And now under caution, Rogers, heavy damage.
I don't know what the 44 was doing there. He just drove up the racetrack in front of traffic.
Top of Passo's company replay. Where do we go from here? Hard fighting for third. Just blew this up. Oh my.
Donaldson dumped him. He just drove it on the bumper, beating off, trying to, I guess maybe trying to move him, but he didn't. Oh, sorry, Rogers didn't drive up the racetrack. He got absolutely arc-braked by somebody there on the bottom.
Right car was that car. Yeah, never got up the bumper.
I think the 67 knew what he was doing there, if I'm being completely honest, watching that tape back.
And I know some people are probably going to wonder, what about the brakes? Again, that was not Rogers on the secondary, I think. There was some error between him and Carr.
Yeah, we'll see here. So obviously they wreck in front of him. Nothing he can do. He tries to stop, gets in the wall, gets in the buoy, turns down the racetrack trying to avoid buoy, and yeah, you are right. Netcode there shot him up the racetrack. Not anything Rogers could do at that point.
And then Alex Murray's up here like, okay, let's roll it down. Chaos. And then he's already in the wall trying to avoid it. Just couldn't get around the 44.
Yeah, I see why he thinks what happened there, but it is not what happened. He'll see that later.
Yes, he will. Pit stop time here in this one, Zach.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, obviously, is we see the battle off of pit road there. 2 aero cars getting out. That's Fetter Place and Garcia in front of Fetter Place there. But I think the biggest thing for Bowie, just listening into the radio, the lack of respect from some drivers. So I know we can probably think of who he's talking about there, but obviously I think the biggest thing is now this really changes everything. It takes out a lot of front runners, right? Murray, Donaldson was involved in that. Bowie, right? So we'll see really a change in the running order there in the top 5, but I think the biggest loser in this is Matt Cox. Where did he come out after pitting right before that caution? Back up to you guys.
So, that is a very tough break for the double zero. Again, he did not get the lucky dog or wave around with some of the cars the way they're sorted, so
he got screwed here by iRacing. This is a known issue. He was on pit road when the yellow came out, and even though he's in front of the leader, it is sending him to the back of the field, which is unfortunate, but it is a known problem that the sim improperly issues wave rounds in this situation.
And so we're only at 1 to go. Under 47 to go. Now here comes the huge question. Do you try and prioritize the short run to try and get the boost on 30, or try and wait it out in case it stays green here, Jeremy? Remember, we had cautions that built up at stage 1 that caused a lot of short run.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely see how that develops here. It's still a long run if we go to Vienna, though, so I wouldn't want to push too hard banking on that yellow. We've been so green tonight, so we'll see if anybody made any changes to the car to try to bolster it for a shorter run, but I'm expecting... I think it would be fair to expect us to get some more green flag running in right here.
So as we get ready to go, it's Garcia, it's Better Place, it's Coffee, and Vincent. Moore, Davis, Owens, Sanders, Gallimore, Medina are now your top 10 for a pivotal restart. 46 to go as we come to the Van Louis Stickers restart zone. Zach.
Yeah, just quickly before the restart here, Brandon Bowie with 12 minutes of damage for the 51 machine. Back up to you guys.
Absolutely decimated. After being consistent for just about the entire season, it's going to end up being one of his lower tier finishes. Back on her way. Good start for the Euro carts yet again. And now the fight is on for everybody to track down that 8 and 34 and get around them to take the clean air.
Better Place worked a little bit too high up the racetrack there if we wanted to. Gave Coffee opportunity to get side by side here down the back straightaway. We'll see what happens down here in 3 and 4. Coffee's going to get fed some dirty air by the 8. That's going to choke off his exit. Better Place will roll back on the outside.
Now all this is to where contact. Coffee with the door. Sends it underneath Better Place. Back to the gas quicker was Better Place though. Side by side we work as they run down the back straightaway. 8 stays up. 34 crosses down. Now Coffee runs the middle to try and switch up the attack.
Coffee some good momentum rolling down the front straightaway. He's clear. Better Place for now. We'll see what happens down here in the 1 and 2. Coffee's going to work the top side once again. That gives Better Place the bottom, but dirty airs there. Coffee got to the outside of Garcia, though. He'll take the lead down the back straightaway. Here comes Corey Moore in the 3rd.
All of a sudden, new wave up at the front for the 54 car. It's Coffee in front. It's Corey Moore looking for 2nd. Not going to get it yet. All this as well, Chris Davis is also pushing. He wants to charge in one of the Euro cars. Moore will get it done this time on the outside, but Coffee looks to run.
Chris Davis was in the fence earlier with a lot of damage. He has worked his way back all night long with the longer event here. He is P3 here with 43 to go, 42 at the line.
Right now, it's the question. What's going to happen this time in terms of that long run play by the back end of the run? This is similar to what we've seen before at the start of stage number 2, where Dig took form and then Arrow took flight. Now it's right at the moment Moore trying to search for clean air on the scene.
Garcia shuffled all the way back to 4th there now behind Davis in the 87. Better Place is shuffled even further back as he's about to lose 6 to Gallimore. Gallimore, we haven't really talked about him at all tonight. He's among that group of cars that has had strong runs all season. He's found his way up here late in the event. They're still side by side there between him and Better Place.
Still trying to find a way to get the spots back here. And that fire off hasn't been there in this situation. Keep in mind Alex Murray after his contact, able to fix the car, get the adjustments the right way. He's running the top, about to think about 3 wide.
Garcia gets back around Davis right down the back straightaway. Davis will quickly fill in that hole up there in the 4th. Moore and Coffee still out front. Moore running that higher line, looking for some cleaner on the nose. We look further back here, we're still battling tight. That's Better Place. Murray, Gallimore, and Vincent all fighting for that 5th position under a blanket.
All of them well sandwiched together here in the midst of some of the edginess. Vincent continued to have one of the best races he's had on the season. Moore. How would this go if he would find a way up front? He slipped back to 8th on long runs, but that's not the priority at the moment. It's trying to size up and get himself back to the lead where he had 26 lead laps earlier.
Still working that tire line. We've seen him do this all night long. He punishes those tires in the short runs and typically fades back a little bit after this point. So we'll see how it goes this time around for him. Definitely will be a threat though if we get some late yellows. He has shown all night long he is one of the best cars in the short run.
And right now, looking at some of the other things going on amongst some of the drivers here, Paul Gallimore. Look at that, he's in the top 5 with everything said and done in that 11. Took some time, but he's finally found a way up here.
Davis is going to close off that inside there. Put some dirty air to the nose of the 11. It's going to push him tight. That allows Fetterplace back to his inside. So Fetterplace is going to come try to put himself back inside the top 5. We'll see what Vincent and Murray can do in behind. Right there, Murray to the fence again here through 1 and 2. Fetterplace, though, meanwhile, just about barely can't clear V11 of Gallimore. Murray to the fence there in front of Great Car.
Yeah, look at how this is faring out with the charge of the Euro car. It's Garcia looking to show why he's got tempo. Looking to take away P2 on the inside. A little bit higher up on the racetrack. Moore stays to the middle.
See them still side by side right here. You see Vincent way up the racetrack. Cars on the apron in the background there. William Owens with a big save there on the bottom out of turn 2. That's going to spread our field out a bunch. I think Vincent had some help from Murray in the middle of that corner.
A lot of tempers flaring up on the radio at the moment in the middle of the field. But the front of the field still seeing door to door. Coming up to 33 laps to go. Garcia looking for the slide up. Got it in front of Moore and cut him in front. That was close.
Let's see what Garcia can do here. See Coffey protects that higher end. Garcia goes higher, not quite going to get the run that he wanted. Maybe he will actually. Huge run off of turn 4. Coffey got really tight late in the corner. He'll be ahead as they head down into turn 1. Can he clear Alex?
He's trying. Garcia on the inside has led 35. Coffey's led 36. Bowie moves out of the way. It's the 8th to the race lead. Coffey might have to throw it back in there. He will. Back to the inside goes Coffey. But the outside is there for Garcia. They slam, they crash, down the front straight away to the inside. Coffey through the grass, Moore drives by them all. Fetterplace jumps to second with Davis alongside.
Hold on to keep it green. That is really unfortunate for Nico Garcia right there. He looked like he was the one to beat to win this race, and Coffey just made a mistake and took them both out down the front straightaway.
Oh my goodness is all you can say. Again, battle for the race lead heats up, and now Corey Moore looks to run. Hearing damage is being reported on the 54 from that contact. Their chances, unless there's a caution, are hurt. And all you can say now is, where do the drivers go with 30 laps to go this time? Top it up, Honto's Company replay.
Get a look at it here. Alex Coffey there on the inside at the 8 of Nico Garcia. Coming up off of turn 4. He just got into the left rear, ran it too tight up off the corner, and sent them both for a wild ride through the AstroTurf here in the infield.
And now, here comes the next part. 2 more aero cars are in the fight, and Davis got loose. Now Fetterplace is in the wall. You have Blaine Wilson up the racetrack also, trying to get out of the way soon. Davis sticks to the bottom, apologizes to Fetterplace. And now your all-star race winner is the next car that has a great shot to take the lead back here. Now with less than 30 to go, the 34 is on attack mode.
Plenty of time for him to work over the 19 of Corey Moore. Too much time left if you're Corey Moore. You know that 34 has been better than you in the long runs all night long. It looks like it's happening again. I don't know how you hold him off for 29 circuits.
Corey Moore again is up the racetrack, again in the wall that time. Better place with a great opportunity to pounce forward. He rumbles to the inside. Only a couple total wins in the history of the series for the 34 car, with Fetter Place behind the wheel. Can he get himself a points-paid win again here tonight? Here comes Fetter Place up the inside, looking to sweep 2 straight weeks at Charlotte. It's Fetter Place in front.
A power move there, just drove around him on the bottom. That could have been our pass for the win that we saw right there. Fetter Place has been strong all night long. He'll be looking to drive away from Corey Moore in the 19.
Drive away he will try to. Give credit to Coffey, his damage still sees him in 4th despite a crush in right front. Now, keep in mind, Cody, you have an update.
Yeah, just to give an update on both the 54 and the 8. The 8 is experiencing some left rear damage, and the 54 is experiencing some right front.
No damage is going to see them both hampered the rest of the way as a result of the battle bubbling over, if you will, here in the course of this one, Jeremy. Jim Treat, meanwhile, there's been a lot of arguments on the radio, I think, around this spot. He's trying to run behind Kenny Reel.
Yeah, Reel there, back up to 12. He got his lap back through all of this chaos that we've seen so far, so he's driven his way back forward right there, but we still look off the front of Jim Treat. You see them lined up there, still a lot of positions to go up and try to get it, but he's actually being passed right now by Mark Sanchez into 29.
That's getting uber chippy. Oh, Murray getting a little aggressive here. 22 was all with the back end of the 33. And right now you have, all of a sudden there's been a chance of wreck him popped up with the radio. I don't think that's going to happen, obviously, because I don't think the 22 wants to miss a race.
I don't know if he's got the pace to go do it if he wanted to do it right now. Justin Vincent's been kind of pulling away from him, but we're on board with Davis right now here, trying to get to the 19 of Corey Moore. Moore still just committed to that middle. He does not like to run anywhere else.
It's been the longest race of the year by at least 30 plus minutes, and everybody is currently enemies with everybody else on the radio. That's all we'll say. Look at that wildness. What's going on here with Corey Moore?
Harper there in the way as the lap car caused some big hairy moments there right there for Moore and Davis in the 87. Davis gets around the 19 and Moore and puts his car back up in the second. Moore will settle in there in third. Harper continues to drop backwards as there's Coffey there up to 4th.
And now, Corey Moore forced on the back foot. Chris Davis looking for his best finish of the season. One of the best, I should rather say. His regard. But right now, Jose Medina, your profile from earlier tonight. He's having a good battle with Treat and company. This is for 14.
Yeah, Jose's done a great job, as he always does, just taking care of the car and keeping it, out of trouble throughout most of the evening. Even when he had some trouble around him, he did a good job of just getting through it, and looks like he'll be rewarded with another solid finish.
So, as they all battle for the end of this one, still about 10 minutes or so of racing to go if it stays green. Barry Sanders, he's still in the top 10 now all of a sudden. Loco's also there. Johnny Shade is in 10th.
Hochschild's up there in 8th. We saw him getting lapped earlier. I mean, this race has really kind of turned on its head. The 600 has a way of doing this in real life too. I was running 100 less laps tonight, but you add a lot of laps to a race, Justin, you get a lot more attrition. I mean, it's just kind of basic math, and we're seeing that tonight.
Right now, as we take a look at Vincent, a couple BMP teammates getting a little bit at it. Gallimore looking for a solid finish for his measure, but All of them make the corner here as Catalano just entered pit road.
Jim Treat is crashing out as we have 18 laps to go right here. Vincent still looking to the inside. Gallimore up there. We're on board the Mark Sanchez back here. See William Owen still up there in 12 after that big save he had earlier in the run. Kenny Reel, man, he's trying to get up there and get a top 10 out of this, Justin.
That would be another impressive drive. He's had speed. He had some good runs in recent weeks. There's a reason he's in the top 16. And well, doing it again for a driver that's no more in the super speedway scene. He was one of the drivers that was at the verge and was lapped at one point. One of the drivers who was trying to catch up at that point, Hochschild, now getting attacked though for 8th.
See Sanders there high up the racetrack into the door almost. Sorry about that there, Justin. We go on board look again. 38 Hochschild's going to get that run down the straightaway. He'll clear Barry Sanders here. And see what he can do down here through 1 and 2.
Now this is Sanders getting the job done. Coming up to 15 laps to go.
Still a big gaggle of cars right here, fighting really hard for these positions. Looking, each of these drivers battling, grinding away, trying to get a top 10. You see Catalano there on the inside. He's got some fresher tires than these guys, so he's going to try to pull through around them. Still on board though, Kenny really see Sanchez in front of him. Owens and Shade side by side, 4 by 10th position.
A little bit of tech issue for Sanchez. Right now, it's the matter for Owens of can he get a squeak on by the 45? Oh my goodness, Shade nearly slammed the back end. Now he's in the wall.
The 3 wide that are after that one. Sanchez working the very bottom of the racetrack on the inside of Kenny Reel and Shade. See Catalano there, the lap car on the fresher tires, still trying to slice his way through. He's putting his nose in a pretty hairy predicament right there.
Yeah, Catalano was just staring down after his pit stop thinking, can I please survive to get to the checkered, please? Pretty please. I mean, in front of them, they're nearly pushing.
Not missing anything out front. Better Place is driven away to over a 1 second lead. This is the best battle on track right now still. Sanchez has worked his way through the 10th position now as they still continue to shuffle this position around, not quite able to settle on which driver is going to get that 10th place.
And at this point, Real, I think, is the one who's going to have a shot for 11th. Red line entry on the inside. Zip, zip, zip. So just like that, Real moves his way ahead of the 0X Sim Racing car. 11 to go here from Charlotte. And what has turned into a very rock'em sock'em night. Corey Moore still keeping up for second. Sean Rogers has moved to the apron out of the way.
Yeah, great job by Morvis Run to maintain some good track position. Obviously not looking like he'll have a chance to win without a caution, but he's done a hell of a job right now to keep his car up in this top 5 and right now on a podium position.
Do you think he'll be happy with third knowing he had a race-winning car? Or, I know it's positive, it's one of his best finishes.
I don't know if he would think he had a race-winning car. I think he had race-winning track position, but he's running better than I think his pace has shown throughout most of the night. So he's probably, oh, big moment, Hochschild in the very rear of our highway driver. That's going to be a caution, Justin.
Caution flag is out, hard of the wall goes Medina. And we're under yellow with 10 laps to go. This race has flipped again. You've seen it first here, Jeremy. Top of the Ponzo's Company replay. What happened?
See you coming off this corner. Medina working the inside of that 38. 38 gets tight, gets in the wall, bounces back down into the right rear of Medina. Nothing to 24 Medina can do. Unfortunate for him, and he goes for a heavy hit there to the inside wall at the back end of that race car.
And that wicked hit will cause a lot of activity, possibly down pit road. Tire set wise, mostly everybody should be good to go here. Medina hearing is done.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaking finish to the night for Medina. He did nothing wrong there, got caught up in another driver's mistake, and all that work he's put in for the last, 3 hours or so is thrown away.
Here we go, it's time for pit stop, Zach.
The 34 and the 87 pull it down pit road, the long haul all the way down. You saw the 0-0 of Matt Cox there. He will get the wave around. The 67 still caught a lap down, but here we go for pit stops as the 87 pulls it in. It looks like it could be a 4-tire versus 2-tire situation here, so we'll see if anyone decides to take 2 tires only. But, I mean, we ran pretty long there. So between the aero camp, obviously you have Davis up front, you have Fetter Place looking to go back-to-back here at Charlotte. The race off pit road, though, Davis going to beat him out. As coming in behind, it looked like Coffee also coming off pit road in P2 there. So that is your battle off of pit road. We'll see how the strategy comes into play here with 8 laps to go under caution. Back up to you guys.
8 cars took 2 tires. That included Davis being the first. First on 4, Chris Vincent. This is big now for the 87. Fetter Place did not get a great stop there, Jeremy. 2 seconds lost in the box.
Yeah, not what he was looking for at all there, so we'll see what he's able to do with the track position taken away from him in this situation after, as you mentioned, not the greatest stop for him. All those 2-tire stops beat him out. He took 2 as well, so not what you want to see when you take 2 and you lose positions on pit road.
Take a quick break. Coming up to 7 to go. The off-axis paint 300 is in its final stretch. Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's coverage as we are all set for the Van Louis Stickers Restart Zone. Justin Prince, Jeremy Moore with you in the booth. Zach Case, Cody Benson down pit road this evening. Ryan Bauer, our producer for tonight's coverage. This could get wild. Van Louis Stickers Restart Zone. Davis looking to fire. Coffee looking to get the zoom with damage. Here we go, 6 laps to go, a solid restart, and we have a car in the grass. Around was William Owens there, but no caution.
Davis went early in the zone, but he didn't really get away doing so. We're still side by side for second, though. Here comes Murray trying to look to maybe make it 3 wide. He can't make up the decision just yet. They're still going to be side by side there. Coffee cleared a second more, just about cleared a third. Let's see what Coffee can do ripping that fence. Great corner on the bottom for Davis.
Great corner for Fetter Place also. Coffee's car just did not turn. Murray is flying ahead on 2. He looks to cut for third on the dive. Looking at Davis as he works the wheel. Under 5 laps to go. Murray is charging late. Can the 87 hold back the pressure as Murray goes back to the bottom?
Sanchez working that high side there, a little bit further back. He may be one of the cars on 4 tires. He was further back on that restart. We'll see if that comes into fruition here as he's already back up into the top 5. Better place to the top here right now, looking for that clean air. Murray just ran the fastest lap of the race.
All sorts of wildness in the 3 wide back there. That's for about 5th or so. Sanchez in the spot. No, Vincent now in the spot. Munsto's shuffling. Coffee struggling. Side by side for the lead. It's Better Place to the point. Better Place rips his way on by. Can Davis pull him back with the outside run? Murray looks on the high side of them both.
Murray's hoping these two stay side by side while he builds up all that momentum. It's not going to happen though. He puts himself in the fence and loses all of his momentum. Better Place clear to the lead, and he's going to drive away with it coming back to 2 to go.
Coming to 2 laps to go from Charlotte. Better Place lost spots on pit road and now shows that he can even withstand that. Coming up to the inside for 2nd, Murray underneath Davis. They're finding and focusing on P2 more than the lead. Down the back straight over they go, coming towards 1 to go. Murray sends it for 2nd. But we're coming up to 1 lap to go. 1 to go, brought to you by League Gaming. Better Place with the edge.
No one's going to touch him here, Justin. It's all Better Place here down the back straightaway for the final time.
It was a popular win with the All-Star race. Powered his way late in that one. Tonight, with the points paying race, the longest race of the season, Brandon Better Place gets the job done. It's the 34 at Charlotte.
A deserved victory for the 34 Better Place there. He was probably the best car for most of the night, especially on the longer runs, but 2 tires and a bad stop at the end. He still recovered from it on the restart and came home with a win.
Better Place to the Better Place. Victory Designs Victory Lane awaits the 34 again. And everybody knows that was not easy late. He led 58 laps tonight. And the Aero car gets another win. Back-to-back weeks for the 34. Charlotte is his place.
He'll bring it down here and burn it down on the front straightaway at Charlotte. Back-to-back at the All-Star race, and now here in the 300-mile event at, 300-lap event at Charlotte.
.34 gets to burn it on down here today. Brandon Better Place, a couple total wins. His first points-paid race win of 2026. Race like this tonight, throw him into the heart of the top 3 points conversation. It's gonna get interesting by the end of the season if he keeps up momentum from tonight. So as he celebrates, we'll take a step aside. Post-race coverage continues after this. You're watching tonight's coverage of Precision Entertainment here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Welcome back, everyone, to tonight's coverage as we continue on with coverage of Moonshiners. Getting ready to look at your unofficial race results after what was a whirlwind of a night. Brandon Fetter Place, for his second straight week, goes to Victory Designs Victory Lane. This time he gets it with a points-paying race. Alex Murray and Chris Davis round up the top three tonight, covered by about a second. Chris Vincent finished in fourth, with Alex Coffey in the top five. Kenny Rio down in sixth with Mark Sanchez in seventh. Paul Gallimore, Barry Sanders, Corey Moore all got top 10s, Jeremy.
Greg Hart just misses out on the top 10 there in 11th. Matt Cox bounces back from being trapped a lap down to finish 12th. Jim Treat had an up and down night, but he brings it home in 13th. Johnny Shade brought it home in 14th. Jose Medina, he wrecked around 15th, got all the way back to 15th, so good for him. Nico Garcia, definitely a car that could have won the race. He came home in 16th. Wilson, Holden, Hawshield, and Owens rounded out our top 20, that 30 spot on the final restart.
21st goes to Brayton Donaldson with Trevor Schwarnoff down 22nd. 2 laps down, the first laps down tonight. Then Ryan Catalano was 3 down along with Christensen, Bowie, and Rogers. King, Harper, Mackin, Cornett are amongst those in the top 30. Mackin and Cornett amongst the DNF list. Also down there was Wayne Bowen, Matt Metler, Jeff Chandler did not take the green flag tonight. Again, our top three getting ready to stand on by. Cody Banza catching up with third place tonight. That was Chris Davis. Cody.
Hey, Chris, it's the guys up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I just was wondering how the kart felt in stage 1 and stage 2 compared to stage 3.
Stage 1, I messed up and got to give an apology to the other Chris and stuffed him in the wall. Had 2 minutes of damage, so had to fight to get that fixed the whole first stage. Stage 2 was really good. Long run, the car is super good. I just come up a little short there, and then that third stage, I knew track position was going to be key, and had a close call there with Corey getting into second place there, but man, you got to give it to Brandon. He was lights out.
Well, speaking of the loss there, sorry that happened to you. But did you make any changes? Like, did you take 2 tires or 4 tires there?
Yeah, we did 2 tires. I loosened it up a little bit, but I didn't go near far enough. It was just way too tight. I couldn't wrap the bottom there and let Brandon get underneath me. And at that point, I knew it was just going to get tighter being in his dirty air. So Murray got underneath me there too. But overall, real happy with the third place finish, especially this long of a race, being able to get back from all the damage and just it's a long night.
On that, it indeed was, but you surely gave us some entertainment there. Any shout-outs or things to give to the booth?
Got to give a shout-out to GMD Janitorial Icon Apparel. They make some great stuff, so if you need a hat, shirt, anything like that, give them a look up. Barry Sanders putting on the league, Kyle being a teammate, and you guys up there in the booth, you guys put on an excellent show. I love watching it back, so we appreciate you guys.
Well, I appreciate you too. Thank you for the fast car, and to see you up here again shortly.
I appreciate it.
It's again Chris Davis coming away in third spot tonight, second spot this evening. Alex Murray's catch up with Zach.
Yeah, thanks, JP. Standing alongside Alex Murray, the driver of the number 22 car here for Dig. Obviously, Alex doing a great job tonight, finishing P2. What was the strategy call there at the end?
2 tires and don't die. The whole race was kind of not our best showing, but we managed a P2, which was great in the grand scheme of things. If we could go back and redo it, I think there's quite a few things we change on the car. I think we learned a lot tonight for next year, and so maybe some of the mile and a half's coming up, but all in all, not a bad night, just not our best, and I know we can do better, so we're going to keep pushing to do better.
I mean, you led 11 laps tonight. Obviously, you made some adjustments like you were talking about. You were back up front, then you went backwards a little bit. What adjustments did you make there in stage 2 to get it back up front towards the end of stage 3?
Yeah, I mean, stage 2 there at the end, at the beginning of stage 3, I think it was, I threw something at it and the car was awful. Just couldn't get the car to do anything I wanted it to do. Went back to where I was in stage 2, and the car was pretty good. Car got tight again. Just the track changes so much at Charlotte. We just have to keep up with it, and I struggled to do that tonight. So hopefully we figured out what we need for next year and some of the mile and a halfs coming up, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, obviously a good points night for you as well, finishing P2. Heading into next week, we go to Nashville Super Speedway. What's the preparation look like for that kind of track?
A lot of laps, a lot of trial and error, I would call it. Setup is huge there, with it being a pretty well one-lane racetrack. So gonna have to be able to turn under people and set people up, try to get a run off the corner and get under them, and hopefully the racing is good. It's this week so far in A Open's been okay, but I think Nashville's going to be pretty track position based. It's not going to be like Charlotte where you can run 3 or 4 lanes and make some moves.
Anyone you want to thank tonight?
Precision Speed Solutions, Carpies, JZM Tileworks, Shamrock Auto Care, PayRVA, everyone at Dig, family, everyone who supports me, you guys obviously. Super proud of the effort, just one spot short.
We appreciate the shout out, Alex. Obviously, have a good rest of your night. We'll see you next week in Nashville.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Yep. Heading back up to you, JP.
With that in mind, it's time to head to Victory Design's Victory Lane, where tonight it is a second consecutive win for Brandon Fetterplace. This time, Fetterplace is the one who wins in the points race at Charlotte. Brandon, were you expecting to go back-to-back?
Oh my God, man, I'm so excited right now. Like I'm sweating to death. Wow. I was not, to answer your question. Sorry. I'm pretty excited right now, but, no, I wasn't. I knew that we had a fast car. But I just, these guys are so fast and you just have to, keep pushing, and man, finally got one.
Get the job done here in this one tonight. What did you do differently compared to the All-Star race to keep up with the racetrack and find speed here?
Honestly, I just took what the car was going to give me. I pushed a little hard in the beginning, and I kind of ran into some issues with the car, not handling very well. It kind of took a swing on me, and I wasn't really ready for it, but, I just decided that, it's time to, just take what the car will give you. Everything should have worked out, hopefully, and it did. So, I was really shocked to get the stage win, the second stage. And at the very end there, whenever that caution came out, I was just praying that there wouldn't be a caution at the end. And, and it came out anyway. So I was really beside myself there.
So in mind here, how do you carry this momentum to try and get more wins starting at Nashville?
I mean, I'm giving it everything I got, every single race. My teammates are really fast. All the other teams in this league are very fast. I mean, these guys are so fast that you just have to be on top of it every single week. So, I told you, there in the All-Star race, I said, man, if I can just get one, maybe I can get me another one. And, I can't believe it. I actually got another one. So I'm definitely going to take this to Nashville. I actually like Nashville. I'm going to put in the laps and hopefully bring something just as fast for Nashville.
Any shout out you'd like to give here tonight?
Shout out to the team, Team Aero, obviously, first and foremost. Those guys are amazing. They're great teammates. Thank you to Barry, Thank you to y'all for the broadcast. Thanks to Top It Off Hot Sauce and everyone who sponsors this league. Thanks to everyone that watches these races. It's really cool to go back and read, and see, what they thought of the race. And just thanks to everybody. Can't say enough.
Congratulations on the win here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Brandon Fetterplace comes away with the win in Victory Designs, Victory Lane here tonight from Charlotte. But the next time out for these drivers, it's going to be an interesting one. We get to race at Nashville. Next time out, Nashville Super Speedway, Wednesday, June the 3rd. Coverage again will start at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Catch that here on Precision. On that note here, it's just about time to finish things up here. But Jeremy, your thoughts on how tonight went as strategy came to play? It was a very wild ending to this one, obviously, but in the end, Fetterplace proved he was the better paced car.
Yeah, I think the best car definitely won tonight. Fetterplace was just kind of on it all night long, beyond 20 laps, right? So just really, really good long-run pace. And then at the end, he had a bad stop, 2 tires, and had a bit of a deficit, still strapped up and won the race. It was a really entertaining race. A lot of hard-fought battles all night long. Good clean racing, a little bit here and there, but maybe wasn't so clean. But that's to be expected when you have 300 laps or tempers to build up.
Absolutely, and we'll say it was an entertaining night of racing. But on that note, it's just about to close things up here tonight after a busy race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, where it took a lot of effort for some of your drivers to come away with the checkered, but Fetterplace proved to be the best out of them all. I'd like to thank everyone as part of our coverage here once again tonight of Moonshiners Racing League and tonight's coverage. Once again, it was an interesting one for the GMD Janitorial Cup Series, but for our pit reporters tonight, Cody Banza and Zach Case, for our producer Ryan Bauer, for our co-announcer Jeremy Miller, I'm Justin Prince saying thank you so much for tuning in for tonight's coverage here on Precision Entertainment. We'll see you next time out. We go racing from the Music City.
Knuckle grip in the neon light, trading pain in the heart of the fight, shifting gears till the edge feels right. Start 'em up, hear the engines cry. Let the thunder roll, leave no doubt. All or nothing when the checkers come out. Doors beating doors in an all-out fight. This is a Moonshiners Wednesday night. Wednesday night. Legends born in the heat of the fight, trading pain under stadium lights. Racing roots run deep here. We're racing on a Moonshiners Wednesday night. Every track has a story to tell. Every wall has been one driver's hell. Back in the saddle we go. Ring the bell like a moonshiner. We're riding on rails. Checkers on record. Send it in, set sail. Legends born in the heat of the fight. Trading pain This is a Moonshiners Wednesday night.